nerderotic.com.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner at Night Afternoon Breakfast Show. Here to calm the populace. Everything is going to be just fine. There's no need to worry about anything. I don't know if that's entirely true, to be honest with you. But don't panic is the saying of the evening from the late great Douglas Adams. I've been thinking about that a lot today. Amidst all of the closures and shuttering we see in entertainment, and the only thing I can think about, besides my family and my kid going to school still, and it was a beautiful day in San Francisco, is wouldn't it be nice to enjoy some new Star Trek or Doctor Who in times like these? Escapism is kind of important. Now, you don't want to forget about everything. You don't want to stick your head in the sand. It's not a very good strategy. You want to be aware. You want to be cautious. You want to be precautionary. That's a good thing. These are all good things. And what Disney has done today is a good thing. Took them long enough, but it's a good thing. But there are consequences to all this too. That I would like to discuss. So yeah, it would be nice to just chill and watch some new Star Trek and Doctor Who and kind of forget stuff for like an hour, 45 minutes or an hour. But we can't do that because Hollywood and the BBC just felt the need to take that away from us. Now, we could be angry, and a lot of us are, and that's good. But I would suggest, because I know they're all watching right now, and thank you for tuning in, by the way, that maybe dial down the divisiveness. This is one of the main mantras of, I don't know if that's a thing, but I just made it a thing, of the Fandom Menace, was chill with the divisiveness in our entertainment. Stop willy-nilly alienating half your fan base with your own, insecure belief system that you need your dopamine hit for every 15 to 20 minutes on Twitter. And you're going to see the consequences of this. And you know who's going to hurt? Movie theater owners, the people who work at movie theaters, comic shop retailers, and I'm talking to you, comic book industry, quote unquote industry. Every time Gail Simone tweets something spurging out about what was actually her loss of residuals with the Birds of Prey and her little screech on Twitter, an SJW doesn't get its wings. A comic shop retailer loses a couple of customers every time you do that. And the first time I got into a little trouble on Twitter, which was back in the early days. It was kind of hard to get in trouble on Twitter back in the early days. I'm sure some of you all remember. It was like the Wild West, but it was me complaining to Gail Simone about tweeting more than she writes comic books and how it affects retailers. And yeah, but that doesn't concern them because comic book retailers never concern them. Never concerned Disney, Marvel, DC was nice about it. They were. But of late, I think it's just lip service from them as well. So I had a conversation with a couple of my friends today who are comic book retailers, and they are scared to death. They are preparing for the worst, and I feel horrible for them right now. And if I was comic book retailing right now, I would be too. Now, I survived the recession. I managed to survive the recession because I took a job while I owned a comic shop, and that's when I worked in LA. So after 2008, and if you all remember, it was almost it was to the day. Things were fine until the headline in the San Francisco Chronicle at the time says, "We're in a recession." And that day, and I'm telling you, that day, things dipped because it was perception. Reality, a lot of times, is perception. Things were bad. Were they as bad as the media said it was? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't think so, but it became that bad. We made it our reality. So it's all about being an adult. And when I was at the shop, I grinded for a year. I took on a partner. I did everything I could to keep that thing afloat and making sure I could pay my bills, pay my employees, pay the Diamond bill. Diamond they were so understanding during this time. They actually weren't, except for one person there, who I will always praise. And if you're a comic shop owner, you know who she is. Maria Galea. Maria Galea. Her last name rhymes with her first name. She took care of all the billing at Diamond. And the most important thing you need to do when you open up a comic shop is have a very good relationship. I don't know if Maria's still there, but if she's still there, that's the person you want to be nice to. You want to send her cookies and flowers and make sure you are on her good side. Plus, she's a nice person. And she worked with me and others as much as she could. So I'll always thank her for that. Good person right there. But Diamond as an organization, pretty aloof. Yeah, and then we have, aloof organizations like the BBC. I've noticed that the Doctor Who spin, it's probably because of the other thing that's going on right now, has died down. And I've noticed that the Radio Times seems to be the lone entity out there trying to defend this series. Now, I got a very interesting email today from somebody who used to work for Big Finish. And I will read it to you later. I will keep this person anonymous until I hear otherwise. But it was a very interesting email, something we need to consider. And it might make you feel better. It might make you feel worse. Or you might just not care. I don't know. I don't know. Right now, I think people are probably worried about other things. But welcome. Let's see who's here. Yes, and I was watching Clownfish TV's live stream with the closures that were happening right now. So yes, Disneyland has closed. Disney World is closing. Netflix is on lockdown in LA. Somebody tested positive there, and they locked down the building. And I will keep an eye on Deadline and stuff. As far as the entertainment industry is concerned, Ryan Murphy has shuttered his show, and I worry about the film industry, TV, streaming. I mean, they're not going to be able to make anything, but they have a lot of stuff in the can right now. They'll probably be fine. A lot of us might be just staying home a lot more. And honestly, I do that all the time anyway. So, we can, there's always your Audible account and your streaming service as long as these things work. And YouTube, of course, there's YouTube. Again, these do require people to run them. A lot of people can work from home. But yeah, then there's places where I used to work. It was funny. I was talking about cars the other day. I don't talk about it I used to work in the auto industry, and I was talking about the value of a couple of my cars, the Element and my FJ Cruiser. And Melissa noticed a comment where a guy told me to stick to pop culture. I have no idea what I'm talking about, which is funny. I worked 15 years in the auto industry. It's okay though. I get that from comic books too. I do. It's been a while since I've done a comic book video, but when I did them last year, inevitably it would come in within the first 10 comments. You don't know shit about comic books. You know, you're right. I probably don't. All right, let's see who's here. I don't know if I can say it out loud. YouTube said they were working on it, but right now that's a no word. So I'm just going to say the beer bug kid, and Gordon Goodfather, and Sir Straith, and CD Horde, and the dude 1764. Hey, what's up, CD Horde? How's it going? Chris Cockrum, Rasta, Rastaman, Andrew Brown, Mark Lorezeth and his wrench, Forever Sci-Fi, Bio 1656, Nick Palmisano, Nick Palmisano. I got that. I'm sorry. It took me a while to get there. Will EDC, Orthopedics, James Dugan, Banjo Boy, Tekkaman Blade. What is up? Long time. Father Christopher Miller. Hail, Father. The White Knight. You're everybody's White Knight. Glenn Saunders, Matt Guy, Edward Conkle, and Larry's here. Apocrypha's here. Cardinal Sin's here. Mark the Infinitely Tired. Dan Kilroy, Fazic Extract, Kevin Eris, John Robertson, Les Brewer, and Matthew Matson and his wrench. And Yellow Flash. So what's up, Yellow Flash 2? Yeah, what's going on? Not much going on in the world today, is there? The frickin' NBA. The NBA started all this. They did. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to go to Deadline, but yeah, I've got some emails to read, and we need to go over, here we go. Things are constantly changing. So, breaking news, Grey's Anatomy and Grace and Frankie shut down production. And we're going to get a lot more of this. LA screenings canceled. They're looking for alternative options. We know Mulan has been moved. Again, Disneyland has closed. Disney World is closing. I'm surprised it took this long. Here in San Francisco, you can't have a gathering of 1,000 people or more. Yet, they are keeping the kids in school. Their logic was, they shut down a high school near my house called Lowell. It's where all the smart kids go. And what happened was all the kids just went out and partied like it's 1999, and they got together anyway. So their logic is, well, they're going to get together anyway. I don't know if that's sound logic, but we are talking about the city of San Francisco. Sony, Paramount, and Warner Brothers suspend studio tours as well. So that's that. And I do believe in California, they have probably suspended any kind of meeting. So, any kind of, the NBA's gone. Baseball's probably going to be done. I think the XFL is out there. Is anybody going to that? The Late Show is shutting down production. Tonight Show and Wendy Williams. So we won't be annoyed with any of their clips here on YouTube for a little while, or they'll just repurpose them. There's always a good side of this. Okay. So we will talk about Doctor Who. What's up, Skaggy? But we need to talk about the comic book industry. That's what I want to start with, because that's what spawned this. So I had that conversation with two of my friends. It was via DMs. And they're worried because essentially, unless you're Midtown Comics or maybe Isotope here in the city, or Comics Experience, or Southern California Comics down in San Diego. You're living paycheck to paycheck. That's just the way that is the way of a comic shop retailer. It is a job that you love to do, that you will never ever get rich at. But it is one of the best jobs in the world if you love comic books. You're surrounded by them at all times, and all you do all day is match a story to the person, and that you help your customer find his or her story. And it's fun, and you sit there and talk pop culture all day. It really doesn't get old if you're into that kind of thing. But the way the industry is right now, what was your life's blood, which was the new release, has really gone by the wayside at this point. If you go into your local comic book store, and it's an anomaly if they have a big, huge new release rack nowadays. The few that are here, San Francisco used to have at one time over 20 comic book stores. It has 8 currently. I think there's one up in San Rafael. I think they're still there, Blue Moon Comics. And there's a bunch in the South Bay, but not as many as there were before. It's a tough business. But again, it's one you love, but it can't afford something like this. It's a luxury item, and it's usually the first thing people get rid of if there's any sign of trouble. And I don't know what you can do. I was always paranoid enough. I was always worried that a recession would hit or something would come by. So I tried to prepare for that. It's always good to have a plan B, but I doubt many of these comic shops do. And this could be it. I hope it isn't. It's not anything I'm rooting for at all. It's tough for me to talk about what's gone on in comic books because I care so much about it. And it truly does piss me off how the creators and repurposers in that industry have treated the fans. And listen, they've always felt that way. I'm sorry to say. Not everybody. There's people out there who love the fans. There are. But these are artists. These are writers. These are people who hone their craft in isolation. So, interactive is not really in their game plan. People skills, personal skills is something they lack sometimes. Sorry to make broad generalizations, but that's just what I've experienced in my 10 years of retailing. And they're nice when they get to the cons and stuff, but I mean, I've been at parties. I've been a member of forums. I see what was said. So a lot of what you're seeing in public was there before, but they just feel a lot more free to speak their mind without respect. I mean, and you got to keep that there. And now I think they're going to learn it. We're going to see some humility. Is it too late? I don't know. But if I was a comic book creator, I would think long and hard about how I deal with fandom and try to talk about my work more than what I think about the world, because that's why people like you. They know you. They know you because of your comic art, because of your writing, your ability to tell a story. And some people are very good in social media, are out there and keeping their presence out there because they do it naturally. Sure, there's a marketing aspect to it, but they do it organically because they have good personable skills, but not everybody does. And maybe, a lot of these comic artists, they don't have like representation. A lot of actors back in the old days would stay out of trouble with their agents. Harrison Ford famously did not give interviews for the longest time. And now we know why. Yeah, I got to really move my mic. It's right in the middle of that chat. Hang on a second. People need toilet paper. At least new releases are good for that, says Mark Gonzo. They are. The art in new releases has gone to crap. it's like this beigey, mustardy coloring all the time, and I know they're trying to emulate anime a little bit, and they're failing miserably. It's a lot of the alternative press expo people have taken over comics. The alternative press expo was APE. It was a convention that used to be here. I think it still is. It was just indie books. They hated superhero books, but now they're writing them, and you can tell they still hate them. San Fran, San Fran, it has the beer bug plague. Get out, Gary. I wish I could. It's not a situation. Well, I mean, if things get bad, I don't know. Right now, I've never seen San Francisco this quiet. It's a ghost town. And it's because I believe it didn't hit us early, but let's be honest. We have a very mixed population here. People have been wearing masks for weeks, but Chinatown is a ghost town. Downtown is a ghost town. Pier 39, I can show you. There were pictures on San Francisco Chronicle of how empty San Francisco looks, and it's weird because every day during the week, 1 million people hit downtown that don't live there. The population grows by 1 million. Let's see here. Now, it's pretty serious that Disneyland and Disney World are closing, and it might seem awfully strange to somebody who's younger who didn't live through that famous date in September. And yes, I can't say that either. People ask me about that, and real quick, that's a real thing. There's certain words you can't say on a live stream because of YouTube's crackdown from last year, or was it a little before that, on the whole not real news thing. And they cracked down on flying saucer channels and channels that talked about presidential deletions. I'm trying to think of the right words here. You know what I mean? So channels I used to love, like Secure Team 10. I don't know what the hell's going on with him, by the way. Oh, no, they got rid of that photo thing. They have, BART. Right now, BART is empty. Our Bay Area Rapid Transit, like nobody's riding it. And we are on course to lose $3.5 million a week. Well, now I'm going to sound like a dick. I'm going to sound like a little bit of a dick here. When it comes to the Bay Area Rapid Transit and our bus drivers, they get paid $200,000 a year. And they have, our bus drivers have a seniority system. So there is, and this is a true story. I know a lot of mechanics who work from the auto industry who work for the bus system here. And there is a driver who does run one route a day, and then he sits in the lot and BS's for the rest of the day. Dude takes in over $100,000 a year, has a full pension. It's like, Harry Potter show has been canceled in San Francisco. So I'm keeping an eye on Deadline here too. But let's get to you guys. To the chat. Hey, Mondo Merc, take care. And what's up, Lori Wilson? Hang on. Where the heck did that go? There it is, right there. Sorry, I lost my chat. How you doing, Lori Wilson? You see Ron Mars crap on fans the other day? Yeah, I've seen him do that in the past too, Yellow Flash. And yeah, that's a guy who's been crapping on fans for a long time. He just feels a lot more free to do it. And yeah, they'll learn. They'll sit there and wonder why they're not getting work anymore because there's no industry. And I know there's the Indiegogo thing. Oh, what happened? Did I lose my chat? How did that happen? Hang on a second. I just lost my chat and I just noticed that. Window capture. That's going to go black for a second. And there's the chat right there. There we go. It's back. Sorry about that, folks. There we go. Yeah, they're going to sit there and wonder, oh, man, how did I lose my job? There's no more work. It must be the fans' fault. You know, all those ist-and-phobe fans out there stopped buying my comics because they didn't understand how enlightened I was. Jerks. That's the BBC's response, too. The BBC has turned into comic book creators right now. They have. There's no yeah, Tom Hanks. Yeah. So Tom Hanks in the NBA in one day. That was crazy. I haven't heard any. I haven't looked at his Twitter. I don't know. I doubt he's tweeting right now. He's probably worried about other things. But I think the world is watching Tom Hanks right now. Don't you think? But yeah, I don't follow him on Twitter. Oh my God, I'm looking at that horrible Star Trek Picard scene from yesterday where the people are ripping their eyes out. Yes. Oh yeah, we're going to talk about that too. There was a clear Star Trek Discovery connection yesterday. I talked about it in my review. Now let's see if good old Tom Hanks is doing okay. There he is. Okay, there's a picture of them, and Rita is smiling. He's not. That was from 47 minutes ago. I'll show you all the picture of them. So they look healthy to me. I don't know, but. There we go. There. 47 minutes ago. They're in Australia. They look like a nice, healthy, middle-aged couple. Maybe, got a little cold, but they're in isolation, and we'll be keeping track. Plus, he's got diabetes, right? So that can't be good either. He doesn't look really thrilled. And I guess she looks a little worried right there. Yeah, I would be too. But I hope they're probably going to be just fine. What else is going to close? I recommended the IRS. I am very concerned for the safety of our brave and tireless IRS agents. So unsolicited advice, I would recommend take a year off, go on vacation. Well, maybe not right this second, but flights to Hawaii got down to $200 yesterday. Don't know if there's going to be many takers on that, to be honest with you. I was supposed to go to the UK in a month. I canceled my trip. But yeah, I think the IRS should, hey, you do great work. We really appreciate you. You're good Americans. Take a year off. We're concerned for your health. I look like I'm dying. God, I feel great. Life is a box of Corona. Too soon? I don't think so. All right. Charles Thompson has become a member. Welcome to the proto-molecule level. Problem being, for £1.99, Chibs is worse than Vogon poetry. Grab your towel. Yes. With Doctor Who, it hasn't, it's got drowned out with the event, but there are still people extremely pissed. I got another 10 emails in the last couple hours of people who are in denial about this, people who are sad, who are angry. They're thanking me for speaking my mind on this one when nobody else will. And I did notice that the rest of the Access media is completely quiet about this. And if you're not a fan of Doctor Who, what they redid their entire canon. They destroyed and shat on their entire history to make the Doctor not only a female, but a baby black girl. The biggest virtue signal of all time. And there's going to be a time, hopefully soon, 5 or 10 years from now, where the rest of the world recognizes how absolutely cringe and classless and tasteless this actually is. All in the interest of making themselves look good at cocktail parties and to their peers. And they don't realize that they're using people. They actually have it in their heads that they're making the world a better place by taking a fictional character that was established and replacing it with another gender instead of making a new show. And they actually don't see it. And I've been talking about this for 2 years. And, finally, this was their plan all along. They did actually see it and they understood that. So instead of, again, making a new show, they just changed the old one. So just the perfect example of breaking something that was working just fine. And Chibs, the idiot, there's not many interviews with him, and I understand why. He comes off he's not very good in public at all, and he's not charming at all. Like, at least Moffat, we get mad at Moffat, the king of the red herring, but you see an interview with Moffat, and he seems like a cool guy. He's funny. He's a little salty, and I like that. Vogon poetry. I see the counterpoint, the surrealism of the underlying metaphor was really particularly quite effective. Do you like the new Mass Effect plot in Picard? Phantom Mercenary for $2. I am not aware of Mass Effect, but so many people hit me up with that yesterday. I went and looked, and yes, it's a complete ripoff of Mass Effect. And it ripped off the Orville last night. It ripped off Mass Effect. It ripped off the Orville. There's characters. I can't. It's indescribable how bad the show is. It's Star Trek Discovery bad. It has hit that level. I have been saying all season it's bad, but it's not Star Trek Discovery bad. It is Star Trek Discovery bad. It was all exposition. And there's a character, again, if you don't watch the show, she's a robot, but she's human. And when she needs to know something, she just knows it. She's a perfect being. She out Mary Sue's Ray. She out Mary Sue's Michael Burnham. She just knows how to, and when she needs to, she just knows how to fly ships. She locked a pilot out of his own ship. And the whole point of this is we're trying to, there's racism towards synthetic beings in this universe now. And the whole plot is supposed to be an allegory against racism and xenophobia, but the Mary Sue robot is incredibly dangerous. She's like, she can get triggered and kill people. I don't think they're making a good argument for their own case. That's how bad they are. They can't even woke right. They can't even woke right. Lick that like button, just like Cardinal Sin says. Yes. And also, by the way, Micah, thank you for the candy corn. The official candy of the Fandom Menace. That's right. That's my proclamation as leader of a hashtag. That's so lame. Stunning and brave dragon bro. Stunning and brave. Alpha Sue. She's an Alpha Sue. That's right, Monkey Jeebus. Stupid monkey. Phantom Mercenary, do you, thank you again for $2. I just read that. Okay, I got to say this very slow so nobody gets mad. My nibba. I got toilet paper, 20 simp coins per roll. Yeah, that simp is rolling around right now. Oh, that must have been disappointing for our Bernie Boomer girl. I was only aware of this from a quartering video. I don't go to Twitch. I have a Twitch channel. I probably should live stream over there, but I don't. Yeah, and then when she got 100,000 subs in a day, and then lost help me out with this, lost 60,000 when she found out she had a boyfriend. That's terrible. It's terrible. British government health officials say that up to 80% could be affected by the sickness, says Nicholas Horton for £5. That is a healthy dose of the population. But listen, it sounds scary. It is scary, but I'm much happier that the government is telling of this stuff. Err on the side of caution, please. Please close down Disneyland. Great, fine. Close down for a month. I think that's our best course of action right now. I mean, the bug is out there. There's nothing much we can do about it other than, wash your hands, of course, and be calm. Panicking will not help. I don't know much of anything, but I know panicking will not help, ever. But I'm not saying, don't be cautious, don't be scared. If you're scared, you're scared. Don't let anybody shame you about that bullshit. This is like your life and your kids. I'm worried about my kids. And the thing is, my kid is on YouTube. And if you have kids out there, they're on YouTube, or if you have nieces or nephews, and they're scared. So they don't need us being scared too. Even if we are. And you guys know that. So I don't want my, I'm going to monitor his YouTube stuff so he doesn't go to some fear porn site. Then that's going to happen. And I don't, when it comes to entertainment, man, you do you with your channel. That's fine. But when it comes to real stuff like this, if you're out there stirring shit up for fear porn to get super chats and shit like that, fuck you. Fuck you in your ass. That's how I feel about that. It's bad enough. Be real. Again, be precautionary. When I say don't panic, I'm not telling you not to worry. I'm not telling you everything's going to be fine, because I don't know. But, chances are you're going to be okay. But I want everybody to be okay. That's my desire. But man, it's going to happen. It already is happening. Again, do what you want in entertainment. I don't really care. You report on rumors and all that stuff. I don't judge you. Do what you want with your channel. That shit's irresponsible. And that can get us all in trouble, by the way. Don't think YouTube isn't going to clamp down on that crap if they notice it. Unless it brings them in enough money. So I don't know. I can't figure out YouTube. We don't need no re-education. We don't need no Chris Chibnall. No dark sarcasm from Wenger. Chibnall leave our who alone. Problem being, hell yeah. He needs to be sacked. Like right now. That's the only way the show's going to get saved. Let me read you that email from the guy who used to work at Big Finish. Now, if you're not aware of Big Finish, if you're not a Doctor Who fan, Big Finish is brilliant. Okay, so it's audio. It's audio adventures of Doctor Who, and they get the real doctors, the past doctors, to do audio dramas. Now, the British love their audio dramas, and that's why I love everything British. I do. Audio dramas are one of my favorite things. As a matter of fact, I am going to take a sponsor, but it's only because it's one I actually use all the time. I'm not going to. I get offered this stuff all the time. I probably should take it, but nah. Maybe I'm not gonna put it out of the realm possibility. But the thing is, I gotta use it to sponsor it. So if somebody wants me to sponsor coffee, oh yeah, I need a coffee sponsor, or beard grooming. I use that, or Audible. Audible. I fucking love me some Audible. So I use that all the time. I use that app all the time. My library is huge. So I'm going to sign this little deal here and probably do it. I'll do it for like Audible credits. I don't need coin. Just Audible credits is good. So yeah, where was I? The email from Big Finish. Now, again, this might make you feel better, or it might not. Now, or this could be somebody in complete denial. But he's legit. He's currently working in entertainment. I'm not going to say where. Right. Hi, Gary. First of all, I just want to say I enjoy watching your videos. Keep up the great work. Thank you. I have worked for Big Finish, Hammer Films, and I work at this current place that I'm not going to mention. A big Doctor Who fan, and this is my own opinion, which does not represent any businesses, including the BBC. I wanted to share with you my take on the finale. I do not believe for 1 minute that what we were told, via boring as hell exposition, that the Doctor is the timeless child. I really do hate the finale episode, but not for the reasons you may think. I hate it because, like the rest of Chibnall's era, it has damaged fans who are looking for escapism and adventure. It has pissed us all off. I am amazed that almost an entire fandom, even some friends of mine that are close to Doctor Who, haven't picked up on the hints that there is a parallel universe, that there's parallel universe shenanigans going on here. The first time I picked up on the idea was in Skyfall. To my credit, I picked up on that idea, but I digress. There is a plot point where we see images of parallel Earths, and this thread is never mentioned or resolved. Is it the lack of attention we currently have? I know I'm barely staying awake. I don't know what Chibnall has planned, and I hope to buggery he has planned. But I am guessing that Ruth is the timeless child in a universe where this story takes place at some point, maybe in Skyfall when the Doctor was in that bizarre stringy world. Some parallel universe shenanigans happening. One final thought. Oh, please kill me with these scripts and acting. Anyway, this is just something to get you thinking. Keep the videos coming, my friend. Kind regards, very kind person, we'll just say. So thank you, very kind person. So I did think about that. I did indeed think about the parallel. You bring something up that big and you don't mention it again. Now we know the Doctor can't just go to parallel worlds anymore. That has been blocked off by the now dead Time Lords. Unless there's a Big Finish adventure that I missed that was canonized where the Doctor is able to do it now. I'm going off of the TV show. So in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't listened to every Big Finish adventure, and those are canon. So please correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But they haven't done it in the show, we'll say, that I can think of. They had the Pocket Universe with Gallifrey. But either way, I honestly don't think they're going to, well, let me rephrase that. Right now, they are not going to undo the Doctor as the timeless child. They're calling it an origin story. Can they undo it? Yes. If we stay pissed off long enough and show our disdain, and that coupled with the ratings, conflated or compared to the ratings in the US, which are now very important. By the way, I have videos that had more views than the finale of Doctor Who Series 12. That is stupid. That is dumb. That should not happen ever. So, again, if you're not a Doctor Who fan, it's like they made Spider-Man a little black girl. Or they took Luke Skywalker, Luke Skywalker was originally a girl found next to a black hole by Yoda and Palpatine, who stole the Force from her and then tried to say it was this natural thing that they're in control of. then de-aged her after she was an adult, turned her into a baby boy, and left her on Tatooine. That's what they did to Doctor Who. Again, can they undo this? Yes. Should they undo this? Yes. But I'll ask you in the chat, if they undo it next year, will that change your mind? Will you go back to Doctor Who? Because if they undo it, it's still not going to be undone. I think a lot of people were done with Jodie before this episode happened. As a matter of fact, the ratings prove that. A lot of people who started watching the Jodie era and who are longtime Doctor Who fans didn't even watch the finale episode. Why? Because they were already out. That was before the major change to canon. So you can't just unchange the canon. You need to, or unchange the, oh God, I can't talk. They can't just change the canon. They can't undo it. They have to undo the Whittaker era, the complete era. They need to make her the Valiard or a different Doctor from an alternate universe, something. They're not going to do that. It's just not going to happen. So that person is very nice, and it does sound like a logical theory. I think that's wishful thinking. I think I'm pretty close to knowing it's wishful thinking. Now, my insider has given me more information. I will be making a video next week. Maybe. No, you know what? I'm going to keep making videos. I did a Doctor Who video today, and I was like halfway through it, and I'm like, does anybody even want a Doctor Who video right now? But you know what? I'll keep my version of Escapism coming. All right, so I'll make the videos. However they do, I don't care anymore. So I'm also here, I guess, to entertain. You guys entertain me. I know that. So that's why I love live streaming. But I think it's wishful thinking. It's been brought up before. Here's what happens with Chris Chibnall and Alex Kurtzman writing. They introduce a concept, and it sounds interesting. It does. It's like, oh, what's that? What's that thing you introduced? There's this giant planet of information that's just randomly going through the universe that somehow attracts the Starship Discovery and wants to unload all of its data into the ship before it dies. That's a science fiction concept that could have worked if a talented writer was in charge of it. But we're talking about Alex Kurtzman. There's no explanation where the planet came from, what it was all about, why it wanted to give the information. It was just there when the Discovery needed it to be there to dump information to help their contrived plot of the AI that wasn't an AI that knew it wanted to be an AI. So the introduction of multiple Earths, I think, was just a red herring. We're never going to hear about it again. And listen, we're used to that with Moffat. Moffat did that all the time. Remember the whole Rory is the master theory, which I loved. I ate that up. I was on Reddit every day, typing in my little Rory is the master theories. And who knows, maybe they were going to do it. I know for a fact from the same source who told me about the Doctor Who rumor that they scrapped a major plot line that they were going to do in Series 7 that was going to lead to the 50th anniversary. And it was all because of Karen Gillan leaving early. She was waffling. They kind of expected her to stay. They wanted her to stay originally through the 50th anniversary, and that's how they had to get Clara. And we also know Matt Smith left early as well. Maybe I can find the article. I'm sure some of you huge Doctor Who fans remember reading that Matt Smith has signed on for an 8th season. Because he did. At least it was reported. But then he took off. Part of that was due to Andrew Garfield. His buddy Andrew Garfield had just gotten the Spider-Man gig and probably said, hey, dude, they're like totally hiring British actors to play all these iconic American roles. We got a Brit playing Batman with Christian Bale. I'm playing Spider-Man. They got another Brit to play Spider-Man. They got another Brit to play Batman. They got a Brit playing Superman. All American superheroes being played by Brits. That's great. Maybe they're just better actors. I mean, come on. But yeah, talked him into it, and he bailed. So this storyline, and by the way, it's out there. This isn't. I'm not. This isn't. This isn't bullshit. There's toys out there that had descriptions of this plot that they were going to use, and it was great. God, I was so pissed. So after the Doctor went underground, remember the whole like Doctor Who, and he said, "I'm going underground now." The biggest question, the question that can never be answered, that they apparently answered. By the way, here's the answer to that question. That's the Doctor's name. I love that ending. I know a lot of people don't like the end of season 6. But the very ending, when they put, I'm forgetting his name now, his head back, and when they put his head back and there's still the ultimate question out there. And they were setting something up. So the Doctor went underground. The universe thought the Doctor was dead, remember? And after that happened, there was supposed to be a war that breaks out throughout the entire universe between the Daleks, the Cybermen, and the Weeping Angels, filling in the power vacuum. And they end up wiping each other out practically. And oh my God, I am so brain farting here. Hang on. I'm going to remember the name as soon as I look it up too. Church of the, oh, that's right. God damn it. That sucks. I hate being old. The Church of the Papal Mainframe, the Silence. So they had this toy gun come out that was supposed to be a gun that can wipe you from existence, and it's made from Cybermen parts and Dalek parts and a Weeping Angel figure. They also had this play set of this Dalek invasion they were going to do that they scrapped as well. I don't know if they were part of the same plot line or not. They just this person told me that. So the merchandisers they're privy to the plots early when they're making stuff. Not all the time. Some of the times, these plots aren't set in stone. They're concepts. They're story concepts. But it gives them a head start on what they're going to make. So that's what they're going to do. So this happens all the time. It happens. Shit changes. As a matter of fact, Star Trek Picard. I did a video a year ago going over the plot outline of Star Trek Picard, and I completely forgot about it till today. And I went over character descriptions and the plot description. And if you look at that plot description, it is clear, especially after watching episodes, it is absolutely clear that they reshot half this season. Robert Meyer Burnett on his live stream today mentioned that there's this scene at the beginning of Star Trek Picard, episode 8, Broken Pieces, where they're on a planet that's surrounded by 8 suns, and this all-female group, of course, it's Kurtzman Trek, so it has to be all women, are guarding this secret that if you learn it, you'll go mad and kill yourself. And this secret is supposed to be a warning for the universe, but apparently they don't want to warn you that much because it makes you kill yourself. How did RMB put it? They needed to make it more palatable, and they didn't do that. Well, if you go over the description, it was originally supposed to be Picard on an archaeological adventure where he hires a ship, a crew, to go out to an archaeological site, which was probably this planet where that warning is. And it probably still had something to do with synths, but it didn't have anything to do with data, and it didn't have anything to do with the original crew. That was all shot over the summer before Comic-Con, and it shows. But our good friend Jack Beers on Twitter, that's not his real name. I don't know if I don't want to say your real name, but I met Jack Beers in San Diego at a meetup. Good guy. And he put up something very interesting that I caught in last night's episode. The connection. I don't know if I can play all this video. We know how CBS is, so I'm going to be very careful about this. There we go. Okay. I'm just going to show you frames, folks. Oh, gosh. Dug it. Okay. Oh, look at that. Stunning. I'm looking for, they're all going crazy. They're sheer effing hubris. What the hell's that? I know I saw the robot part here. So there's a scene. I don't know if you got another one there. Maybe I missed the wrong one. So there's a robot. Here, I'm going to pause at the right part, but I got to take it off because CBS will hit me. And let's go back and I'll find the right part. All right. There we go. I'm getting there. There. Okay. Well. So if you look at this, I don't know if you left the original Android picture in there, Jack. But if you look at her eyes right there, that's from Star Trek Discovery. Now, the androids in the second episode, I believe, and in last night's episode had that same red. They had that, which is control. So I am pretty sure there is a connection between Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Picard now. Otherwise, I mean, it's hackery either way. They're either reusing their own shit or repurposing their own stuff. I mean, of course, they're repurposers, so why not repurpose your repurposing? But the android that turned into Data in that weird scene has that same effect. Yeah, I'm sorry I can't play it for you, though. CBS are freaking jerks. Let's see if we see the android there. That's pretty funny. And it's supposed to be all those people reacting to Star Trek Discovery, and then they're all killing themselves. I love it, Jack. I love it. Somebody did put up a video. I thought it was you, Jack, of, yeah, there it is right there. So, no way. Oh my God. Oh my God. I didn't know that, Jack. I've been, okay. See that Shutterstock? Now, that's from Shutterstock. That's from Star Trek Picard. Shutterstock. Star Trek Picard. Is that real, Jack? Oh my, that is terrible if that is real. That is, I mean, Anos, call your lawyers, dude. That is Exhibit A right there. Oh my God, that is terrible. I did not notice that. I'm going to retweet that. You only got 10 people like, oh, that's Tom who shared that too. So that was Tom who originally shared that. Well, Tom's only got 42 likes on that one. So that's from Tom. Hail Tom, by the way. I'm going to give that a little boost right now. I'm going to say, hey, Anas, call your lawyers. Star Drek. And fake Trek. Yeah, I'm using the fake Trek hashtag, by the way. Oh, shit. That is terrible. So that's getting retweeted. All right, sorry. Sorry to tweet while I'm on here. Okay, Duppy Rider for $5. The comfort shoe store where I work was nonstop from open to close today. Our buddies and geezers don't give a damn about the virus. Now, I went to the gym today. When I go to the gym, I wash all of my, whatever weights I use or the elliptical machine or the treadmill. I wipe it down. I sterilize it. It's what Mrs. Nerdrotic calls, we give it the Karen Silkwood treatment. If you know what we're talking about, Silkwood, there's a famous shower scene because she got contaminated. It's a true story about a woman who got contaminated at a nuclear power plant and they're like scrubbing her. Yeah, basically that's what I do to all my machinery at the gym. I mean, we still got to live our lives. We still got to eat. The world has got to go. And if it even gets bad, there are still people who have to go. We need water. We need power. The shit needs to happen. We might have to go out in like hazmat suits. I hope it doesn't get to that. I really do. Like wearing a mask around. Okay, fine. I'll do that. I'll do whatever. That's cool. That's cool. That NBA player who touched everything before he left. I mean, karma's a real thing. Karma is a real thing. Trust me, I've been on both sides of it. I believe Vince Gilligan to be one of the last great writers of our time. No bullshit. Just solid entertainment. I hope he never goes away. LEY for $4.99. You're not lying. Man was part of now 3 great memorable shows that I can think of off the top of my head. X-Files, Breaking Bad, and of course Better Call Saul, which is a great show. It's unfortunate that our genre entertainment they're trying to make our genre those shows though. And that's the problem. I think that's what led to the Lord of the Rings writers getting fired was they were all from Better Call Saul and Sopranos. Now there's a fringe person in there, but that's fringe. That's not fantasy. So yeah, it's going to be very hard for them to find the right writers. Peter Jackson, Philippa Boyens, they need to call them. Basically, they need to beg them to come in and do it. I know people were unhappy with The Hobbit, but honestly, it's still better than most of those people can put out. And if Better Call Saul people can't figure it out, then yeah, it's not going to get figured out by some soap opera writer. Okay. Justice for Anas. How do I acquire one of the new Nerdrotic beanies? They look awesome. Justin Gould. I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked that question, Justin. Thank you for the $10. Go to Instagram.com/Nerdrotic and follow me on Instagram. And then follow the instructions on Swag Sunday. And Mrs. Nerdrotic will give you the instructions and you can possibly win the beanie. I don't sell much merchandise. I have a t-shirt out there with mixed tees. But I had a Teespring store, but I was really disappointed with the quality. And by the way, if you have one of those Nerdrotic shirts, I want you to email me. It's going to take me a little while, but I will exchange them for another shirt. But you got to email me at GaryNerdrotic.com and just say t-shirt and we'll exchange it with another shirt that's better quality. And don't worry about anything. We'll just give me your address and we'll take care of it from there. I'll take the loss on that one. I didn't realize Teespring was that shitty, but they kind of are. Nash MC Gra for $5. Why are you dressed like my boss? I come here for escapism. Here's my money. Love you. LOL. I dress like this. I've been wearing too many t-shirts and honestly, I listen to you guys. I listen to the viewers, and I was pretty scruffy in a couple of videos a couple of days ago, and I'm like, yeah, I'm usually not that scruffy of a person, to be honest with you. I have a beard, but I like to have a nice haircut and wear a nice button-up shirt and dress kind of nice. So I'm going to start doing that more often. I don't want to be, I don't want to turn into that, if you know what I mean. Well-groomed is good. Like firing up your YouTube live stream. I mean, it's a good thing I don't drink. I'd be awful. But it's good to be well-groomed. I mean, you're, putting yourself out there in the world. I writing a story about villain children with the idea, don't pick parents, son of a demon, daughter of lich, she need eat souls, and would you thought on idea. Obelisk Titans for Australian $7.99. Were you sending a super chat via voice text? I thank you for the $7.99. So I'm going to try to fill in your ticket because it looks like voice text to me. I am writing a story about some villain children with the idea that they don't pick their parents and they're sons of demons. A daughter of a lich, she needs to eat souls. And what are your thoughts on the idea? It sounds like an interesting idea. Obelisk, be very careful what ideas you put out there because people can take them. So I thank you for the super chat, but be very paranoid with your ideas. I do that with videos all the time. I had like 4 tweets fired up, ready to go. And I'm like, that would be better in a video. So I just save it for the video. KG is a member at the protomolecule level. Thank you. Welcome. Members live stream this Saturday at noon. Vashta Narada is a member at the Geologia level. Hail. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Welcome aboard. Lori Wilson. Hail, Gary. I think you are going to gain a lot more subscribers because isolated people will want interaction. You provide the best. Why, thank you. I appreciate it. I do my very best. YouTube, it's weird. YouTube really wants us to live stream and they want more eyes on their network, but they do not reward you that's why I take them off the channel and put them on Nerdrotic Live. Now, it would be better for the channel to actually leave them on. I would get the views and stuff because the views don't count once I enlist them. But that's fine. So subscribe to Nerdrotic Live. Once this live stream is done, I'll pop it over there. I'm getting better about being faster about that. Just some inside baseball. I have to wait for the video to process so I can download it off of YouTube. Sometimes YouTube takes 24 hours to process one of these videos, and sometimes it's done right away. It's kind of hit and miss. Marcus Cato for $1.99. Thank you for being an oasis of sanity right now. You are quite welcome, Marcus. You are quite welcome. And we need that. Listen, I'll just speak for myself. I will not partake in, firing people up about real life issues. I mean, ever. It's not something I want to do. I don't want to be a part of it in any way, shape, or form. I don't want to be, like Fandom Menace, going after Disney for disrespecting fandom, going after the BBC, going after Chris Chibnall, going after Alex Kurtzman and CBS. And it's for precisely these reasons, by the way. Precisely these reasons. We've had divisiveness throughout all of our entertainment, exacerbating the divisiveness in America already over a fucking election that happened 3 years ago. And now, when we need the country to be kind of together, we're kind of not together at all. Like the worst I've seen it in my lifetime. And it was hubris. It was sheer fucking hubris. Everything was going great. And collectively, as a human race, we can be a bunch of dumbasses. Individually, we're smart. And during times like this, Hollywood played into this because it was making them money. And it was firing up. And the news is fear porn. And listen, we need them right now. We need them to be credible. I need to believe the news. They're informing the public right now. They're probably one of the most powerful things out there, even though people don't believe them. People don't believe them for good reason. And this permeated through our entertainment. And now when we need our entertainment to be escapism, we need our news to be somewhat trustworthy. I don't expect perfection in any of this. It's like the worst possible scenario. Fucking A. Hail, Gary, love the tattoo on your left hand. I wish I was brave enough to get one, but how much does it burn now? I try not to think about it, Chumley73, but it irritates the fuck out of me. It irritates the fuck out of me. But I kind of resigned it when Jody was picked. I'm like, this represents the era I loved, which is season 8 on back. So I'm okay with it. I've reconciled. But fucking goddamn, I'm so fucking mad about what Hollywood and I'd like to stay mad and stay yelling at them, but then I'd be contributing to the divisiveness when we need calm right now. We need calm. We need fun. We need entertainment. And that's what we've been asking for. And you know what? I have every right to be upset now because, thankfully we have a bunch of old entertainment and streaming services we can enjoy, Lori, and I will be here. I mean, listen, it's part of my job to make people forget and entertain for a little bit, and I will do my very best, and I will be here. And this started out as a hobby. I love doing it. I love talking to you guys, and you're brilliant. And would I love to be sitting here breaking down like Game of Thrones lore or Doctor Who theories about possibly the Rory being the master or something like that? Fuck yeah. That'd be great. And maybe someday we'll get there. Maybe this is the wake-up call. Well, Hollywood's getting a wake-up call, whether they like it or not. This is going to hurt them badly. But the thing is, what really sucks is it's going to hurt, the key grips and the script doctors out there. And that sucks because those aren't the bad guys. There's very few bad guys. They just happen to have all the power right now. Quarter Black Garrett, what's up, my brother? How's it going? For $5, watching your favorite franchises crash and burn is sad. I was hoping to pass them on to my kids. Not anymore. I mean, you just made my point for me, man. And that's why you're Quarter Black Garrett. You're a pro. You might have heard of Quarter Black Garrett. He's from a little show called Louder with Crowder. I was watching you earlier. I was watching the billion views, dude. A billion views. A billion fucking views. That's incredible. And you don't get a penny off that anymore. Son of a bitch. That's bullshit. But Carlos Maza is out there fucking raking in, probably the tens of hundreds of pennies. Yeah, that sucks. Sorry, Quarter Black. But thanks for watching. Thanks for the $5. And yes, I was hoping that I would be able to enjoy Doctor Who with my kid for the rest of my life. And my kid dipped out. And honestly, he's barely hanging on with comics. He's moving towards anime. We might enjoy Berserk together. I'm thinking about, he's old enough. It's fine. Ultimately, the timeless child is all the doings of a bitter and angry little man lashing out at all the fans who dared to criticize his work by destroying the very thing he's in charge of. Chumley73, thank you for the $10, and you're absolutely right. He was hired to do that. I don't know this for a fact, okay? This is just what I heard. Grain of salt. But Chris Chibnall was not their first choice. I don't know. I wasn't there, but that's what I heard. But more importantly, he became their final choice. And he's the final showrunner for Doctor Who. There's no way the show is going to continue. Like I said, anything short of bringing back David Tennant, Captain Jack will not help the show. You bring back Captain Jack next year, you did that once, you won't be able to do it again. If you bring back Rose or Donna, you'll get a little bump, but let's be real. People want Rose and Donna with Captain Jack and David Tennant or Christopher Eccleston or even Matt Smith or Peter Capaldi. But the real ratings are with David Tennant. And I'm sure and David, I know you're watching out there, buddy. Don't do it. Do not do it. Do not tarnish your legacy. Do not go and help that show. They owe you nothing. Well, you owe them nothing. They owe you everything. Everything. Lady Gravemaster for $5. Sponsor suggestions. Coffee, Black Rifle. Yes. Beard grooming. The beard struggle. The struggle is real. Yes. Topic change. What did you think of that opinion piece on Bounding into Comics? I loved it, lady, and I'll read it later. I thought it was fantastic. Thank you for recommending it. Thank you for recommending it. I will read it in a little bit. It's fantastic. Lady Gravemaster, always looking out. Grimy for Australian $5. I'm happy to weather a pandemic watching you and Doomcock at home. And I am happy to weather it with you too, Grimy. And as long as YouTube is working and I feel okay, I will do this. And you know what? Even if I don't feel okay, I'll probably still do it. I've gone through a couple live streams sick. I'm sure you guys noticed, but I have. But thank you, Grimy. Bryson Rail for $4.99. I just started Alter Carbon Season 2, Episode 1. I'm getting SJW Overwoke vibes. Am I tripping or not? No, you're not tripping, Bryson. It's pretty woke. It feels like it's almost like they're apologizing for the whiteness of Season 1. I'm sorry, not almost. It's like they're apologizing for these are terms. I'm using their terms. I don't actually see whiteness or blackness. That's bullshit. I see individuals. But apparently that's racist too now. Thank God I don't play by their rules though. So long and thanks for all the fish, says Cultural Casino for $2. God's last message to his creation. We apologize for the inconvenience. Thank you for all the great videos and live streams, says Ancient Treepers. Thank you very much for the $5 and thank you for the kind words. I will keep it coming. Guy tweeting vitamin C to treat the beer bug. Is that Corona getting its lime? Maybe. That's funny, Jonathan Frost. I just got it. I'm blonde. It takes me a while to get there. Thank you, Jonathan. Chris Patterson is a member at the Gelogia level. Welcome, Chris. Does anyone remember Clara Ario Stark with their flying diner and diner? Their flying diner in Doctor Who. That could be a spinoff that was such a mind or censored or such a mind F. That could have been a spinoff. And if it was the Clara who was in Asylum of the Daleks, it would be something I watched. Although Maisie Williams, her character started out cool and then became insufferable by the end of the season. She was just a big old freaking know-it-all. You know, it's Moffat. Moffat, really was try hard towards the end. I mean, I'm sure we all look back on Moffat era fondly compared to Chibnall, and we should. But don't forget that's the end of season 9 and season 10 were pretty bad. There were moments of greatness in both of them. There were. That's undeniable. Bill, when she wasn't constantly reminding us she was a lesbian, and people like to fight back with that saying, she only said it a couple of times, but she insinuates it a couple of times an episode. Okay. But, the actress wasn't bad. She wasn't terrible. They could have worked with that but the woke writing ruined it. It absolutely ruined it. And that's when people started leaving at that point. And it really turned off Americans. Americans get turned off by that shit way quicker than the British do. Because you guys are used to it. More than you guys get it a lot more than we do. And it's the whole European thing over there. Now, a lot of you are very awake and individualist and independent and, centrist or whatever. And you don't like that shit either. But Americans will dip out because we have a ton of choices. We have 1,000 channels to choose from. We have YouTube to choose from, and you do too. But we also don't have the attention span of the British. I mean, we don't freaking read over here, for Christ's sake. I'm going back up here. The Art of the Real for $20. Have you seen the YouTube channel Studio C? Skits involving Darth Sidious. They're great. I have not. I will check it out. It is hard enough for me to keep up with the Fandom Menace. They have you see, this is YouTube. Studio C, never heard of them. 2.39 million subscribers. Now, let's see what kind of traction they're getting on their channel. They still get about... They get 100,000 views. That's not great for somebody with 2.39 million subs. Is it all skits? Because here's the deal. Here's the deal with YouTube. If you're thinking about getting into YouTube, and absolutely do, it's fun. And there's always a place for this, but it's moving towards the sorry to use this word, community aspect. Your audience, connecting with your audience, doing live streams. That is, even though all of us YouTubers complain about how live streams hurt the algorithm, they are as necessary as videos. But more importantly, at least for me, I'll speak for myself, I prefer doing them to videos. I would rather just sit here and talk to y'all for a couple hours. If I have a preference. I like editing. It's fun. I will always do the videos. They're not going away. And I'm not going to do anything I don't like. I'm not going to do anything to do it. I hope you've noticed that. I don't make a video on every topic that comes out. I just don't, because I'm not interested. It's not like I couldn't. I'm just not interested. I want them to be something if I don't feel strongly passionate about it, then I generally don't do it. And there's been a bunch of videos I've started and I've stopped because I wasn't feeling it. But the community aspect is important. So, I mean, it's great that they do skits, but maybe they should do some live streams or what's all. Maybe they do, and they're just unlisted. I don't know. But that's not a great ratio right now. But I'll check it out. Studio C. They have a schedule and everything. Yeah, they're like a show. I wonder, are they like a comedy troupe or something? Interesting. Yeah. Thanks, Art of the Real. Hi, do you think that the BBC is worried about the UK government removing the TV license? I hope they are terrified. Ruined their major show. David Pimblett for £9.99. They are terrified that the government is going to take away the TV license. They're already having to make cuts. I refer to you to a Sargon of Akkad video that came out about 3 weeks ago, where he discusses that they have to cut 18 million pounds, and they fired some news anchors, I believe. More of that is coming. And when the BBC goes subscription, when they have to go full subscription, you will see BBC anchors who used to be in $1 million studio or £1 million studios sitting in their office reporting to you. Because do you need that anymore? Do you need the big fancy set and the cutaways and the lower thirds and the intro music? Do you really need that? I don't. I get my information right here on YouTube from real people, and I believe, I'm smart. I've been around long enough to know where I can suss out some bullshit. So if somebody's full of shit, I can tell. I never agree with anybody 100% of the time, but if I feel like I like you and trust you, I will listen to you and I will be open-minded to your takes. And I was watching a live stream last night when I was done with my live stream that had 9 viewers in it. And I was happy to be the 9th viewer, and I watched the whole damn thing. Now, sometimes I don't like to pop in because I don't want to take attention away from the channel. I think that's not cool. I mean, I like saying hi to everybody. I love doing that, but it was their show, and I wanted to respect that. And they were talking about Star Trek Picard, and they were liking it. They were actually liking it. And these are people I like. These are people I back. I've had on my show. I thought last night's episode was trash, absolute trash, utter trash, garbage. And it looks like a lot of people are. By the end of the series, people will come around. Thank you, David. Thank you, David. When will they bring back? When will you bring back those cool neurotic T-shirts and sweatshirts? The only way they will undo the Jody Who show is if BBC is privatized. Joan of Arc 33 for $24.99. Thank you. And you are 100% correct. There's no way they're undoing this. There's no way. Are you kidding me? The BBC is so worried about 4 blue check marks on Twitter. I mean, fuck the millions of fans that are pissed off. There is 3 blue check marks on Twitter that might call them racist. And that's how the comic book industry is run as well. I mean, there are parallels. This whole movement has run through the gambit. It started out with gaming. Now, Gamergate was its own separate thing, something I still to this day do not completely understand. I know it initially started because there was collusion in the access media, which there is to this very day, and then it broke up. Egos got involved, money got involved. I don't know. Again, this is just, I'm going on very little information, so I don't mean to disrespect anybody who was in Gamergate. There is a YouTuber out there who will constantly remind you that he was part of Gamergate. But that's as far as I know. Then there was Comicsgate, which started out as a consumer movement. And I followed a lot of channels back then in the early days, when, your boy Zach, who I still think should change his name back to Diversity in Comics. That was a much better name. And that was a major brand change. And I think that did affect his channel. I'm still subbed to Zach. I respect his comic book views. His taste on comics is pretty good. Television shows, not so much. But I've always said he was an inspiration for this channel. He was. Him and World Class Bullshitters and Jeremy and Midnight's Edge were the channels that kind of made me believe I can do this. And I don't mean that in disrespect. That's what I wanted to be like. So, where was I? So that was Comicsgate, the early days. Doug Ernst, Captain Cummings, Englentine from I Love Comics. I would be in Englentine streams all the time. He used to stream like all the time. And Comics Division and I would be in the stream chatting with like 40, 50 other people. And because Englentine's channel was like way bigger than mine at the time. And that's where I met Comics Division. And we saw that whole thing go down and how the creatives or repurposers at Marvel, particularly at Marvel, I remember the milkshake day. I remember all that crap. And I was there in the live streams and commenting on videos, but I wasn't making videos on it. The reason I didn't get involved is I just didn't. I didn't think I had anything to say other than because I was trying to figure it out. And at first I didn't believe it. And then I believed it. But yeah, I didn't think I could add anything to the conversation. So I just didn't make videos about it at all. And I kept it to TV and movies, and I was covering TV shows. And then it infested Hollywood. Now it's always been there. I don't want to say infested. They felt that it was okay to start attacking fans because they had seen other mediums do it. I mean, look, the comic industry, they're beating the shit out of their fans. We can do that now? Awesome. We hate fans because, I mean, it's almost human nature to focus on the negative. So a lot of the creators and actors will focus on the one or two, crazy tweets they get from somebody with a manga avatar, and they're, Jedi Knight 6969, and that's what they think all of fandom is, instead of paying attention to all the adoration they get, and just all the 99.9% of us will maybe give some constructive criticism, but most of us will just not tweet at them at all. I don't at celebrities. I don't care what they think about anything. I don't need their validation. I don't need their retweet or their like. But the access media does. And that's what the Fandom Menace was about. For me, anyway. My main beef was with the access media. I go after the franchise owners. I go after Alex Kurtzman. But what started a lot of this shit was the access media because people didn't have anywhere to go. I used to go to these websites, CBR, comicbook.com, Bleeding Cool. I used to go there all the time and like the information. Something changed, 2016. I didn't feel like they were really speaking to me anymore, and I had nowhere to go. And at first, I'm sure we've all exchanged this story in the past. We thought we were taking crazy pills. It's like, I saw The Force Awakens and I thought it sucked, but everybody was loving it. I'm like, maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. Or what was happening to comics? There's two YouTubers talking about it. Two. But everybody else is saying all this shit is great, but I've read comics all my life and I could promise you it wasn't great. It was the opposite of great. It was garbage. Making Captain America a Nazi. Fuck you. I mean, and they really didn't undo that very well. But yeah, there's a lot of people who don't read comics. Yes, they made Captain America the equivalent of a Nazi. So what they did to Luke is not a surprise. What they did to Spock is not a surprise. What they did to Doctor Who is not a surprise. It was all leading to this. But now, Doctor Who remains the worst example of it. The absolute worst. And hopefully it's the end. And Doctor Who fans need to stay pissed. And since we'll have a little extra time right now, stay pissed and bombard the BBC with complaints. With legit complaints. And, no personal attacks. Here's, again, I'll keep this to I statements. I'll write a complaint to the BBC. I'm going to write a complaint to HBO Max. I gave out the numbers yesterday in my live stream, and it's on Nerdrotic Live. I'll tweet those numbers out. I'm sure they'll love that. But I won't at actors or lower level creatives from the show and badger them with anything. They're just working there. Okay. They're not involved in this stuff. Jodie Whittaker popped off a few times. She's an empty-headed professional pretender. But Chris Chibnall is part of the machine that's out there trying to repurpose and reshape our modern myths and our young minds. Now, thankfully, kids aren't watching Doctor Who, so I don't know who they're trying to propagandize. Because right now the hangers-on are guys my age. That's it. There's no kids watching Doctor Who unless their parents are making them watch it. So, yeah, that's where we're at. And now this thing comes down, and we could really use our escapism now, thankfully. Again, there's a bunch of old escapism. But now when we go back and watch The Empire Strikes Back, like I did in the gym the other day, and I'm sorry if I've repeated the story before, but it was a big deal, and I didn't think it would hit me that hard, but I'm watching The Empire Strikes Back, and the first time I see Luke, I see Quitter. And I'm like, it did poison the well for me. It did. As much as I say I don't want The Last Jedi to count, I saw it. And it counts. So, if you haven't seen The Timeless Children, don't. Absolutely do not. Don't feel tempted. Don't watch it. It will ruin your experience. Now, I love Doctor Who. I've already seen some classic stuff and it hasn't affected me. But I haven't seen some modern stuff where they bring up the Time War or regenerations, and that's where it might bother me. So don't let your well get poisoned by these freaking hacks. And look at Chibnall's body of work. It's Chibnall's dead body of work. That's what it is. It's fucking terrible. God damn. It's still, I'm not calmed down about Doctor Who at all. I'm not. Is it clear? I'm fucking pissed. I was watching Az's video today at Heels versus Babyface, and he's like, I know a Doctor Who video. I'm all, no, bring it. Give me 6 more. God damn it. And like I said, I'm in the middle of recording a Doctor Who video right now. And halfway through, I'm like, Do people want to hear this? And I'm like, I don't care. I want to hear it. I mean, I care what you guys think, but hang on. I'll give you a peek. Excuse my messy desk. I'm wearing the same shirt, but there you go. There it is. It's being worked on. There's the Doctor Who closet. I love that thing. Somebody sent me a Blu-ray of the 8th Doctor movie, the Fox movie, and didn't give me their name in my P.O. box today. So please identify yourself. Let me know your Instagram handle so I can... Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to make you dizzy here. My apologies. There we go. Okay. Yeah, let me give you credit for that. Thank you very much. And Micah, thank you again for the candy corn. We also got some other stuff. Somebody sent me Jelly Babies. Jelly Babies. It was from Sparkus. So no, Spartus. Spartus sent me a nice, look at that. That's awesome. Thank you for the Jelly Babies. I could use them. All right, let's get back to you guys real quick. Joan of Arc 33. Do you want a hoodie? The shirts are available at mixtees.com. Let me get you the link here. Now, mixtees.com is the Popcast guys. They do a channel called Popcast. Nerdrotic. Now I can't find it. I will find it before the end of the show. Mixed Tees Nerdrotic. Maybe I'm just spelling it wrong. There we go. Oh, I know what I did wrong. There it is, right there. Got it. All right, so here is the link. There is a Nerdrotic tote available and a Nerdrotic t-shirt available. We're also going to be doing a green one soon. And Mrs. Nerdrotic is handling that. And again, follow me on Instagram. And if you need to ask her a question, she is the CMO and the CFO of Nerdrotic. She's basically the brains of the operation. Lejong, I will read it in just a second. I promise. You don't have to ask, please. I will read it. Do you need to? Here, I'll read it right now. Do you need to go? I'll take care of it. Give me just a second. So there is the Mixed Tees link. And contact Mrs. Nerdrotic through Instagram, instagram.com/nerdrotic. Okay, I'm going to get to Lejong here because he needs me to read his super chat. So you ask, you shall receive. And you said please with multiple exclamation points. Hey, Gary, love the channel. Quick question. What's the music you use in your outros? It is called Beam Me Up. And it's in the free audio library for YouTube. You can download it for free. I will put a link on my website for it. I'm wondering if there's a link to that. Here it is. If we go to Beam Me Up. Not Bean Me Up. I wonder if it'll let me give a link. All right. Let's see if my speakers are on. There it is. So that, I picked that song because it said Beam Me Up and I liked it. It kind of reminded me, I love Secure Team 10's music and it kind of reminded me of that. So it's by Spaz Cardigan. It's 2 minutes and 58 seconds long and it's under the hip hop and rap dramatic category. Beam Me Up. I don't know if I share this link, if it'll work or not, because it's connected to my account. So no, it won't work. So yeah, just Google the free YouTube audio library, free music library, and you will find it. Okay, thanks. There you go. Yes, Von Max for $2. All the RIP Doctor Who stuff, and I completely blew past the passing of Max von Sydow. Rest in peace, Max von Sydow, says Von Max for $2. Absolutely. He's in some of my all-time favorite movies, including Dreamscape and Flash Gordon. I love Dreamscape with Dennis Quaid. New animation ball Doctor Who is up. I think you'll love to play it on your stream, and I can email you a digital download of my comic Joe King. DM me. Yes, I'll DM you on Twitter. George Peter Gatis for $5 Canadian. Thank you. Yes, and I will show it. I will show it. Once I can pull that up, I will pull it up, George, before I go. Thank you, George. And yes, I will. I want to read your comic. Chibs ain't feeling so stunning and brave now, huh? J Hando 4 for $3. No, he's not. Actually, I think the reality is setting in with the BBC and Chris Chibnall. I think they thought they could get away with this, and I think they thought it would blow over like the usual suspects would be mad. Turns out that it was a lot more than the usual suspects were mad. Turns out, I might do a video on this because I have 5 emails from people who said they didn't like me before and they like me now. And that's not a huge number, but extrapolate that. Okay. That's thanks to Chris Chibnall, because I think people were holding out. And honestly, I was too. I said in my video, I didn't like the Jodie era. I didn't like the Chibnall era, but I could have survived it. I could have just fine. It's over with. Unfortunately, we'll have to see her in anniversary episodes, and that disappoints me. But eventually she'll be gone. Now she is permanently in the DNA of Doctor Who. That is terrible. No doctor should be permanently in the DNA unless it was through your performance. Your performance. Tom Baker earned it on his performance and his longevity, and it was always good. Right up until the end. And that guy could have stayed. He could have stayed a couple more years and it would have been great. I mean, we got the great Peter Davison after that, and that's great. And then David Tennant, and again, I've said that Matt Smith is really growing on me. I've always liked him, but I respect him a lot more, especially the first 2 seasons. Man, those are good. Good. Yeah, he's feeling, I don't know. He seems like a smug guy. It's going to take a lot of work to bring Chris Chibnall doesn't, I don't know. We want the BBC to kneel. I want Chris Chibnall to be gone. I don't need an apology. I don't need him kneeling to fandom, because even if he came out and said he was sorry tomorrow, his writing still sucks. I want him gone. Go do Broadchurch. Go away. Remember, Torchwood is gone. I mean, you could have just said nothing so we could pretend Torchwood is out there and Unit is out there. No, they made a point to tell us that they are gone. I mean, he's gone. He's been a wrecking ball through Doctor Who. Justin Gould for $10. Only a matter of time until CBS destroys the best captain of all time, Captain Kirk. That is when Star Trek will be as dead as Doctor Who. Kirk is the equivalent to the classic era Doctors. Yes. Justin, I've always seen Tom Baker and William Shatner as peers. They are it. They represent their franchises. And they were generally around at the same time. Captain Kirk was before, but when I was growing up in the 70s, and when I was a little kid, the only Doctor I knew when I was little was Tom Baker. That's the only one that I remember. I know they made a Mego. It was called Denny. What the hell was your Mego brand over there? Denny something. I know I got one of the giant robots. Those things are worth a lot of money, by the way. And I got Denny Fisher. Thank you. And I have my Captain Kirk. So one of my earliest toys was a Captain Kirk Mego. I'll never forget. I had a G.I. Joe, a big Kung Fu grip G.I. Joe, a Human Torch Mego, and a Captain. I mean, it's like random figures, and they all played together, and they were the wrong size. I didn't care. But you're right, Justin. You're right. Skaggy is a member at the proto-molecule level. Jaloja, and welcome. And the work must continue. Viewers wishing to catch up, Best Buy has Blu-rays on sale like Tenet and Matt Smith Complete Series for around $20. Also, Tom Baker seasons. Yes, Alpha Omega. I would recommend. I mean, that's a great recommendation. Those are cheap, and you're not wrong. But the BBC still gets that money. So maybe go to eBay and see if somebody is selling theirs. And that way you're not giving the BBC money. But if you want to watch it and that's cheap, I mean, pick it up. And honestly, you know, for the longest time, you couldn't get the Tenet era on Blu-ray here or Matt Smith. And if you had to get a British copy and it was like $80. So that's a good price. Also, I am working on a template so you can replace the art. And I will have that to you very, very soon. Because right now you have to deal with Jodie Whittaker's logo on that. So I'll make a template on Photoshop that takes that logo out that you can print out at home on whatever paper you choose. And then you can stick it right in the Blu-ray case and you don't have to look at that logo, which is shit. Unfortunately, I'm stuck with it until I get my template finished. Jonathan Frost, welcome to the proto-molecule level. I thank you very much. And Christian Sudith, welcome to the proto-molecule level. I appreciate you. Michael Alex for £5. Rewatch first season of Tenet Doctor Who for the first time in over a decade. Rose Tyler's goodbye still makes me cry. The BBC should be ashamed. Absolutely. Oh, I can't remember who it was, Michael. But somebody tweeted me, just look it up on Google, Peter Capaldi interview, what the Doctor meant to him, what Doctor Who means to him. And he gives the most heartfelt, real response. And I want you to contrast that with Jodie Whittaker saying she didn't want to watch the old episodes because it was definitely not the right thing to do because it probably made her uncomfortable and scared and would have made her work at her craft. So they were very easy on her. Listen to that David Tennant interview. It is irritating as fuck. She goes, I can't believe you did a different accent. All those lines. This is a professional pretender who was given one of the biggest roles on the planet. And she marveled at David Tennant not only using another accent, but delivering so many lines with that accent, complaining about the amount of lines in the biggest job she will ever have. And she only got this job because of her junk and her proximity to Chris Chibnall. End of story. And she was the second choice. Wife works FT at Disney. I'm a disabled food driver. I'm getting 70% less money. Oh, and now Disney only will pay 25 to 30 hours and no tips. Don't know how we'll survive. FCV. Brett Carlton for $5. Oh, thank you for the $5 super chat, but please, save your money, please. That sucks. I mean, I'm happy they're paying you. I'm happy they're paying you. That would be just, if they didn't pay people while they were off, I mean, I would be leading the boycott of Disney forever. Don't give them a goddamn thing. Actually, I don't think you should anyway, but again, I hate saying that because it does hurt people like you. And I like Disneyland and I like Disney World and I will definitely go there and give them money. While I'm happy they're paying you 70%, they can afford 100% for a little while. They need to make exceptions here. Again, I can make an argument that the bus driver over here can take 50% of his pay or 70% of his pay, especially when he just does one route and jibber jabs all day. I wouldn't be sad, but you Disney workers are paid the bare minimum because they take advantage of the fact that you want to work for Disney and it's working for Disney. Same thing goes in Hollywood too. They pay the bare minimum because it is a luxury job and it's a job you want. And it's just demand. It's about demand. I took the job at Technicolor for I was making $20 an hour. I was doing like crazy as far as entertainment is concerned. I was the last line of defense for hundreds of Blu-ray titles. Hundreds. They wouldn't have been made without me. And I was making $20 an hour. And I was traveling to LA to do it. But I also had the comic store. And I lived in a house. I rented a room for 4 days a week. And it was a bunch of writers. So a bunch of writers, because they couldn't afford to live in an apartment, had gotten together in an apartment. So when your boy Zach talks about comic book writers eating ramen and having 16 roommates, that is 100% true. That is Hollywood. So I was just temporarily living there. I mean, I own a house, but I needed a place to live in LA while I went to work down there. So I just rented a room. And it was writers from The Big Bang Theory. That's who I lived with for about 7 months. I never saw them because I worked the night shift. But I was living with some writers from The Big Bang Theory. Not the head writers. It was part of their writing room. They would write and fill in like little jokes and stuff. It's just part of their support staff. Techno Babbler reviews for $5. Stopped watching Picard, but there's another Dodge now? Are they just going to create new versions of her whenever they write themselves into a corner? Yes, Techno Babbler. You've got it figured out. Our good friend Laura Reloaded tweeted out, I almost responded to this, but I didn't. I'll respond to it live on the air. That Star Trek Picard, isn't it funny how I can predict Star Trek Picard critics' takes a day before they come out? Now, he didn't actually put any of these predictions on Twitter. He just randomly stated that he can predict our takes. Well, yeah, it's pretty easy to predict Picard. It's going to be bad because I watched Star Trek Discovery and I'm very familiar with Kurtzman's work. So if you're going to have, say, a secret organization, it's pretty easy to predict that Kurtzman will make it all female because they've done it twice in the show. It's pretty easy to predict that when Kurtzman gets written in a corner, he'll think of some deus ex machina that's actually a machine that will just learn things when it needs to. Or create another character. Yes, Star Trek Picard is stupid with Dodges. And by the way, it's Star Trek Dodge. It's not Star Trek Picard. It's Star Trek Soji, not Star Trek Picard. He is a guest star in his show. He is pointless in his show. He's a spectator. It's Star Trek Spectator. Michael Sanger, his message is retracted. I'm sorry, Michael. I apologize. Yellow Flash 2, and thank you for the $2 though. Yellow Flash 2, Secured Team 10 says the Men in Black gave him a false DUI. LOL. I saw that video and then he took it down and I was like, oh, he's in trouble. I don't want to speculate on the air. I don't want to get sued or anything, but there's a saying. If it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a fucking duck. It's a fucking duck. Are they finally cleaning the crap up? Rural for $2. Well, there's nobody on the streets to crap on them. So yes, I think accidentally the crap is being cleaned up in San Francisco. I think that is actually happening. All right, going back down here, scrolling down. The Art of the Real. There's Quarterback Garrett. There's Chumley. There's Doyle. There's Chris Patterson. There's Jonathan Frost. 200 Watt Studio. Some Big Finish fans are in denial that Big Finish won't adhere to the new canon. Big Finish changed the Doctor Who logo on their entire line. Yeah, Big Finish is contractually obligated to adhere to this canon. It's over for Big Finish. I'm not buying a single thing from here on out. I said it in my video, and I mean it. I'm not buying anything. Zip. I'm done. I will get vintage collectibles that I can buy on eBay. Not buying shit right now. I will not be purchasing any more Big Finish. And people are dumping their collections 200 Watt Studio. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I have. There's been an uptick on dumping Doctor Who collections. Dark Schwartz Rising is a new member at the Geloja level. Well, thank you. Sassy Marie is a new member at the Geloja level. I thank you. I appreciate this. You probably didn't get the reference before, but Principal and the Pauper episode of The Simpsons destroyed the foundations like Doctor Who just did. I don't remember that episode. I used to watch The Simpsons, but I stopped watching a decade ago. But I don't. Now, I can look it up real quick. I'll try to look it up before I bail. Valid target, because you gave me $5, so I want to understand it. Thank you so much. Find the John Pertwee William Shatner interview. Oh, I will, Chumley. I most definitely will. 73 for $2. Gallifrey next February. CBS will recast and trash Kirk. 200 Watt Studios for $2. Yes. I think we expected to see that this season. Well, they might not. They wrapped Star Trek Discovery. They have not started production on Star Trek Picard, and there's 2 obstacles in its way. There's 3 obstacles in its way. They have a very short amount of time to work on this series. They can't if we're going to get 3 series or 3 seasons of Star Trek Picard, they need to shoot it within the next 2 years, or Patrick Stewart will be gone. They also have a possible writer's strike, and that's after everything that's going on here. So don't look for Star Trek Picard to be out within the next year, because they haven't started filming it yet. And it takes a ton of post, and they're hiring possibly new writers. And they have a giant problem on their hands. They might not have a distributor internationally. Now, that's just a rumor right now. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I'm hearing. I have been hearing that rumor for a very long time now. And it did premiere on Amazon this year, so I don't know. But or it might not happen at all. Sir Patrick Stewart is not young. He might not want to wait 2 years to do season 2. But I do know that season 1 ends on a cliffhanger. It does. Cracklin' for classic shows are being ruined by coattail riders. Absolutely. Hacks and coattail riders. The best doctors, Cracklin', what's up, my friend? The best doctors could elevate schlock with acting. Christian Suddath for $2. Yes. Peter Capaldi makes the later years of Doctor Who watchable. I mean, could you imagine Jodie Whittaker with that Moffat writing? Oh, Clara was insufferable. Just, there's a couple episodes here and there where she was fine. Mummy on the Orient Express. I say that over and over again. That and Flatline. 2 great episodes. Doctor Who TV has a poll on canon ruination. Vote. Problem being, I will look at that right now. Hang on. Let's go. Did the Timeless Child reveal, add to canon, or destroy it? All right, I'm going to link this for you. Here it is. You guys can vote away on this if you'd like. I would say it destroys canon. There we go. Now, it's not going to show the results of the poll. You're just voting right now. And don't hit that blue continue button. It's just the vote on the bottom. Yeah, I don't want you to go to any spam or anything like that. Yeah, completely fuck Canada. I'm very curious to see what the poll is. They had another poll that came out that, and everybody said pretty much that season 12 was trash because it was. Thank you, Problem Being, for £1.99. Corey S. for $5. Here's some rage money for those Who vids. 57 years destroyed after a smug SJW mutiny took place on board the TARDIS. Sheer fucking hubris. That's what Picard is going to be known for from now on. Sheer fucking hubris. I cut a video together last night while I was waiting for Picard. I'll put it on Twitter right when I'm done. It'll probably get a copyright thing on Twitter. I don't care. But all the deaths that I could remember off the top of my head, I cut them all together in one video. Give me a second after this live stream. I'll cut it to bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Hey, Chumley73 for $2 said, hang on to your copy of The Talons of Wang Chang. Yes. There's also a toy, I believe. Hang on to your toy. But I have a copy. Lady Gravemaster for $2. No one has calmed down. Bring on the Who vids. Okay, they're coming. You got one coming tomorrow morning. I promise. And then a Bond video. But I'll save that for Saturday. I don't know, my algorithm doesn't really like me doing 2 videos on one. Fuck it. I'll do it. I'll give you a Bond video too. That one's ready to go. How did you like Castlevania? My opinion, pretty epic. Also, inclusive without being insufferably woke. Have you seen the War of the Worlds series yet? Says NJ Scoundrel for $5. I tried the War of the Worlds and I just sniffed out the woke and dipped. I haven't seen Castlevania season 3 yet. I just have had zero time. I will have it seen. I will watch it by the end of the weekend. Or you know what? I'll watch a couple episodes and review it a little bit tomorrow on Friday Night Tights. I'm also going to review a little bit of Berserk. I want to shout out. I would like to shout out Douglas Ernst. He sent me this as a thank you. Look at how beautiful. It's like, this is what you have to do with the Indiegogos right here. What Doug did. It could, because you're going to get one of these a year, maybe 2. Make it worth reading. Make it nice and long. And maybe that's the future of comics. Maybe that's the future of comics right now. Just like, treat it like a novel. It comes out every year, every couple of years. You make it just an epic story that's engaging, that people like. Look, I got a card as well. How awesome is that? I started out the live stream talking about my retailer friends. I don't think comic retailing is going to survive this. I didn't want to say this in the starting of the live stream. I don't want to panic retailers because they're panicking enough right now, and I don't want to pile on, but I think it's good to be aware that if you can support your local comic shop, if it's economically feasible for you, please do. Pick up your books, do what you can. If you can't, then you can't. Don't feel bad about it. I mean, if you're making 70% less money for the next 2 months, honestly, comic book shops should plan for stuff like this. Yes. Does everybody plan for it? No. Does that make them bad people? No. But I just don't know if they'll survive. I think you'll hear about a lot of comic shops closing very, very soon. We already have restaurants closing. So, but again, I don't want to panic anybody either. That will be the worst thing I can do. Times might be tough. Times might not be tough. This might blow over. But I want to repeat what I said earlier. I don't give a damn. I will not partake in any fear porn. Period. It's going to be very tempting for some people to do that out there. And I'm sure there'll be some takers and suffer the consequences. It'll probably be great. And then what? So think about it as a channel, as a content creator. Is that what I want my channel to be? Fear porn. Because you're going to have to keep doing that. Once your channel becomes that, you have to keep doing that. This channel grew because of Doctor Who and Game of Thrones and Star Wars, the MCU, and Star Trek, and The Expanse. Throw The Expanse in there too. And Rotten Tomatoes. I covered a lot of things. But I started out as just reviewing TV shows. I wasn't planning on doing the short videos or anything on the news and getting in the culture war and shit, but I did because I feel passionate about it. But just going where the wind blows to keep your channel alive, just to keep your channel alive, that's not something I want to do. That's not something I want to do. But I thank you all for being here. And even if it's not the sexiest thing, I'm not going to partake in anything that freaks people out and upsets people. That would be counterintuitive of our message. It would be absolutely against the message of the Fandom Menace. Just saying. In my opinion. Edward Perino for $4.99. Oh my God. The beginning of Picard where they do the ritual sounds like teenager edgelord fan fiction. Then Elrond hugs Seven of Nine like his goddamn, I added that, mommy. Just sad. Yes, sister boy. We're calling Elrond sister boy from now on. He is supposed to be a well-trained killing machine. He cut people's heads off and he was scared? That's not even a consistent character. But you know why they did that. I'm going to say it out loud, but you all know why they did that. Because they got to show the man subservient to the woman. Every opportunity they get, they need to show any vulnerability. They switch the sexes. Actually, your boy Zach, whose opinion on this show I mostly disagree with, hit one thing spot on. The women are in the male roles and the men are in the female roles. And it's done on purpose. They probably thought it was funny. I forgot what the type of songwriting is called. Official Dougie J, if you're still in there, what is that type of songwriting that David Bowie did where he wrote lyrics and then he ripped them in half and then he took the two separate ones and put them together and did a song. There's a name for it. I forgot what it's called. But he did an album like that where he wrote a song, wrote another song, ripped them in half, and then put the two songs together and did a song. And it's called Emasculate. Crackling, yeah. Yes, it's called Emasculate. That's what they did with, that's what it feels like they're doing with Star Trek Discovery, except they did it with the male and female characters. I love Patrick Stewart. I do. But I love him a lot less after this. A lot less. As a matter of fact, no, I'm getting angry at him. I'm pretty angry at him. I think he's tarnished. Once the series is over and it ends like the way I think it's going to end, I'm sorry if my responses are so predictable to some really like Nostradamus-like YouTubers out there. But they're genuine. I'm sorry. If they're predictable, they're predictable. They're genuine. I'm not out here to subvert your expectations on my opinion. I'm here to give you my real opinion. If you're thinking about it that much, maybe you're not giving out your real opinion. I don't know this for a fact. I'm speculating just like you are. Love the show. Keep up the fight. Thank you, Nightmare Gamer. I will. Thank you for the $2. I appreciate it. Yeah, Edward, thank you again. Nightmare Gamer, welcome to the channel at the proto-molecule level. I appreciate you. Joe Christmas for $1.99. Hi, Gary. What is the murder count on Star Trek Picard? Okay, it was 46 prior to this episode. Bird of Prey 5 is keeping a tally, but let me go over it in the top of my head. Let's go through the episode. Are we counting the people? Well, yeah, the people. So there was there 8 women in that circle? And all but 2 of them died. So 6. So 52. Going through the episode. Did anybody else die after that? She went in there. And they had that big talk. Oh, and yeah, the drummer from Scott Pilgrim killed Bruce Maddox, and it's okay. It's just okay. Yeah. I think the body count, I believe, is over over 52 and under 55. So we were hoping for 60 by the end of the series. It was averaging that, not hoping. Yeah, I was kind of hoping. It looks like we're going to hit that. We now live in a world where people are out on Twitter celebrating the Birds of Prey will be the highest grossing comic book movie of 2020 since the beer bug. Everything else besides Bloodshot. When? I didn't see Bloodshot. Drunk 3PO saw it and he said he kind of liked it. I watched his review. He's wearing my shirt. Thank you. Yeah, we're also seeing people praising the beer bug and wanting the economy to come down to take out the president that they don't like. Remember, again, I don't want to add to the divisiveness, but these are also the same people who said they would remember every person who supported the president. I'm not saying I'm for or against him. I'm not. That's not my channel. I don't do that shit. But if you're for him, you're welcome here. I'm just saying you're welcome here. I'm not going to demonize you ever. And I will defend your right to support whatever the fuck you want. But then these people are wishing harm on our own country so they can feel right. I mean, they'll be homeless or very sick or without a job and will be all destitute, but my God, they'll be right. See, that shit needs to stop. We need to turn all that off right now. As mad as we are at them, we need them to just, I mean, they won't. I would love them all to shut the fuck up until this is over and then resume it. Fine. I don't care. But, we don't need that shit right now. 200, thank you again, 200 Watt Studio, for letting me know about Big Finish. Yeah, they are in denial. Sassy Marie, welcome to the Jaloja level. Dark Schwartz Rising again, welcome. Gray Ghost, thank you for the $9.99 super chat, letting us know that people on Twitter, I mean, just Twitter's Twitter too. It's Twitter. Joe Christmas, thank you for the $1.99. Body count, yeah, somewhere between 52 and 55. I'll give you an exact number when I post that video on Twitter. Nightmare Gamer, thanks again. Cracklin and Sadrin TJ $9.99. You're the best, Gary. No, you're the best. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for the $9.99. JT Express for $9.99 went to Barnes and Noble and saw the comic books are as expensive or more expensive than the manga. Bought a manga collection and it was worth about 2 to 3 comic books. Why is that? Paper. Comics need to be back on pulp. Alterna Comics has the solution right there. Alterna Comics is the solution. It's how a publisher should run. And the big two are not going to do that. They would rather go out of business. And it's going to turn into reprints and digests, and they will be cheaper eventually. Oh yeah. You can go to Walmart and get a $1 DC comic, get that's worth their money. It is. And those are good. I think, by the way, any comic retailer who is against that is a fucking moron. I'm sorry. I've said it publicly to the people I know who bitched about it. You're crazy. For one, it's a $1 book. It's a reprint. It's a fan maker. That's what that comic is. It's a fan maker. What was that spinner rack in 7-Eleven? That spinner rack in 7-Eleven created comic stores. It was a fan maker. We need more of that shit. We need more comics out there, not less. Don't start cornering the market. You know, I heard somebody on one of EVS's streams call retailers a gatekeeper. Now, initially, it triggered me a little bit. I got a little pissed. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, because we're not gatekeepers. We have budgets. All right. We have budgets. We can't buy everybody's book. And I'm sure you think your book is the most specialist, but it's really, we can't buy every book. It's not responsible. Plus, every book isn't good. Now, is every comic shop owner the arbiter of good taste in comics? Quite frankly, no. Many of them stopped reading comic books. You would be surprised on how many comic shop owners don't read the books. You kind of need to read the books, but a lot of them just got older and they delegate the stuff to their younglings and they just, collect the money and they like the toys or whatever. And they're just kind of over the comic books. I wasn't over them. I loved them. But that being said, there was some gatekeeping going on with comic book retailers. After I got triggered, I thought about it a little bit. And nope, I remember some Facebook groups. Yep, they were. They were. And that shit has to stop too, comic book retailer. Don't let your politics get in the way of your business. I saw another comic book retailer, one of his solutions to pass down his store was something I actually thought about for my store. And it turned into a colossally bad idea. But this owner, who will remain nameless, wants to, when he retires, he wants to turn his store into a worker collective at a comic shop. So a worker collective would be the workers go there, they own a piece of it, an equal piece of it, each person, or a percentage to how much they work. And they would own the store. And in theory, it sounds great. In the same way that like communism on paper probably sounds good to some people. But there's this thing called humanity. And there's this thing called drive. And humans have a different drive. And they all have different aspirations. And what will always happen in that situation will be one person will do all the fucking work, or two people, and there'll be one person who drags them down and pisses the other two off, and it turns into a big fight, and then your store's just gone after that. Sure, 1 out of 1,000 might work out. You might find 4 people who will get along forever. And just because they get along when the boss is around doesn't mean they're going to get along when the boss isn't around. Trust me, I tried this. It doesn't work. But you don't know until you try, I guess. Okay. We've gone on for 2 hours and 15 minutes. I'm going to call it. I'm going to go get some food. But first, I am going to go over the super chats to make sure I did not miss any. We also want to look up George's tweet. George. There it is. Did you DM it to me, you said, George? I don't see it. I don't see it, George. Let me see if it's in my notifications. I downloaded. You know what? I'll tweet it out. I'll once I find it. I mean, my notifications are. Oh, there it is, right there. There we go. There we go. All right, so let's take a look at that. And thanks again, George. I love these things. I love them. I'm going to have the speakers go through for you guys so you're not hearing it in my speaker. Let's go to Rode Podcaster. And then window capture. Desktop audio. Excellent. All right. This should work. That was cool. Oh, that's dope. Thanks, man. You're not related to Mark Gatiss, are you? That was dope. Thanks, man. I love it. That was great. So John Pertwee was interviewed by William Shatner. Or vice versa. Was it vice versa? Or were they just together? I wish I could have met John Pertwee. That would have been awesome. John Pertwee interviews William Shatner. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. The video's gone. That sucks. Maybe this one is there. Nope, that video is gone too. What? Why did everybody strike it down? Yeah, it's a struck down video. If anybody can find that for me, DM it to me and I'll retweet it. All right, I'm gonna ramble on out of here. Ramble on. Thank you for joining me, everybody. I appreciate it. Hope you took your mind off things. I mean, I know we talked about the beer bug a little bit, but hope you took your mind off a little thing. And yes, to reset the table, Disneyland and Disney World are closing. I believe Disney might be closing its studios and their cruise ships. Definitely follow Pirates and Princes. It's the blog of Clownfish TV. They're on top of that shit. So that's the one site I would recommend. And they are really on top of the Disney stuff. I mean, honestly, I love Marvel, and that's my concern. I think Marvel Comics and DC Comics are going to suffer from this. And I was half tempted to use one of my old thumbnails that I will show you guys real quick before I go. But I didn't want to I didn't want to add to any stress tonight. Not tonight. And I think Jeremy's thinking about doing a chill stream a little later in the evening. So keep an eye out on Twitter, and I will join him for that. So I might be back live tonight later. Let's go to media. I was going to use, this is one of my oldest thumbnails here. And, but I chose not to use it. There we go. I think we are definitely there as far as comic shops are concerned, unless they've saved up. Now, of course, there'll always be ones left behind, but there were comic shops that were going to close anyway without this happening. This is going to hasten that, and that makes me sad. So, again, if you're able to support, just buy your comics, buy a couple comics here and there, but don't put yourself out. And if you can't, you can't. I mean, luxury items. We're all luxury items, and we need to realize that. Okay? I realize that. And I appreciate all of you. And I think we got one more super chat there. Please talk about why Chibbs was hired to kill who. Okay. Real quick. I think he signaled that in his interviews by saying, I would not come on unless I had a female doctor, which helped force Peter Capaldi out. And the attitude, Chumley73 at the BBC, is not too dissimilar from the attitude back in the late 80s of I can't remember his name, but the guy running the BBC at the time hated Doctor Who. He hated Doctor Who, and he was looking for any excuse to get rid of it. The ratings dipped. They got rid of it. I don't think, as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that the current BBC is embarrassed by past Who. They are, I don't think this is a secret at all. They are embarrassed that the previous doctors were all white, and they needed to fix that right away. And if they couldn't fix it, and it fucks up the show, oh well, it fucks up a show we're not that proud of. Now, they're not going to say it publicly because they're very proud of the revenue stream that show brings in, but they're not proud of the politics. They are actually embarrassed about a show that, quite frankly, is pretty progressive. Throughout the years, it's always been a very liberal-leaning, but very liberty-based show. Free expression, individualism. There's episodes that are you could argue were pro-socialism and anti-communism. Depends on how you look at things. But it entertained. Most importantly, it entertained. It looked like a B movie. It had paper mache and plastic monsters that, quite frankly, looked terrible, but I loved it. They were scarier. The fact that they looked so aesthetically displeasing to the eye added to the scariness of added to the terror, especially when you were younger. It looked like this giant spaghetti things coming at you. And it made it extra freaky. And I always, when I was watching it when I was younger, I equated it to Hammer Films. I just saw it the same thing. It was just, it was British, and they make their monsters kind of ugly and weird, and I loved it. And it was entertaining. It was always fun. And one of the best role models for boys. They always talk about the toxic masculinity. Then what better role model to have than somebody who thinks his way out of a problem, who charms his way out of a problem, who tries to reach out, resolution, whatever happened to that, that's dead and gone in Star Trek, by the way. And yeah, the latest Doctor Who was just mean, straight up mean. Was there any resolution with the hotel owner and arachnids in the UK, or was just their constant shaming because he was just a fearful man with a gun? All us Americans, we walk around with guns all the time. We just shoot shit. Yeah. Fuck them. So that's why I think Chibs was hired. I think he was a good little yes man, and he will deconstruct a problematic past without any problem whatsoever, without any clapback. And now we know why Moffat left. Moffat was a fan of Doctor Who as much as Capaldi was. Mighty Balzac for $2 Australian. Doctor Who needs more cowbell. It needs balls. It needs cowbell and a pair of balls back. It needs some masculinity, because that's what it's missing. That thing you think that you're like, I don't understand. The people who still like it. Like, there's something missing. Yeah, a couple of balls. Oh, lady, yeah, I'll do the grave. I'll do the. I forgot that. Yeah, we'll read. I'm gonna have to rush through it. Okay, I'm sorry to do that, but yeah, I forgot. Here we go. Founding into comics. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna read this, and then we're taking off. If I can find it. Rumor Scarlett Johansson. Where did it go? There it is. Okay, it's by A.C. Graves. Opinion: Why knowing our heroes are destroys the agenda. Opinion: Why knowing who our heroes are destroys the agenda. I can read. We are all laughing at the retconning now, but this is perhaps the most obvious symptom of what's been happening in our culture and to our Western canon. We don't know who we are anymore. Jar Jar Abrams did not write an amazing Star Wars film, or even a good one. But perhaps more harmful than the lack of a good storytelling was the lack of identity for the trilogy and for the supposed lead character, Rey. It's true that Rian Johnson stole an identity from Rey, from us as the audience, by stripping her of her family name, home, and history. In The Last Jedi, she was even more of a blank slate than in The Force Awakens. Well, that was Jar Jar's fault, though. Rian exacerbated the problem, but Jar Jar Abrams should have given her a name, and if he didn't, he should have passed on what the clear mystery was, but he just wanted other people to fill in the blanks, and, it was out of laziness. Nothing else. Nothing else. J.J. Abrams is really good at bullshitting people and himself. Jar Jar Abrams, however, destroyed anything Rey could have ever stood for by giving her identity and then discarding it. I would argue she never had one. Rather than allow Rey to rise from the ashes of the evil that was the Emperor, not letting it define her and outshining his evil with her own deeds and merit so that Palpatine's name would be remembered for inspiring greatness instead of inspiring fear, as Luke had done with his family history. Jar Jar Abrams chose to callously redistribute the Skywalker name. Skywalker became a brand, a label, something to be slapped on an inferior product to disguise its genuine article, no longer a family lineage or legacy. This disservice to both character and fan is so asinine, it is a wonder that it was ever allowed. Well, it was allowed because it was part of they did have a plan, and that was part of it. Now, a plan for the brand, a plan for the trajectory of the plot as far as agenda was concerned. You could fill in the blanks and Mad Lib the shit out of it, but you have to hit these agenda beats. I think we've all pretty much explained that pretty well in all of our videos. The desperate attempt to appease all while being validated and relevant to meet the cries of injustices to be rectified meant a two-front battle, capturing the elusive other market and still satisfying the existing fan base. Any strategy or student of history can tell you this scenario ends for the entity splitting its forces focus, and now so can any Star Wars fan be. Okay, sorry. Any strategist or student of history can tell you this scenario ends for the entity splitting its forces /focus. And now so can any Star Wars fan or anti-fan. The lack of definitively written characters and story is what has led to so many once great IPs to ruin. They have forgotten who they are and are desperately searching for themselves. The problem is they are no longer welcomed by a loud few who never supported the IPs before, and now they have so altered these IPs to fit their insatiable hunger for validation. I want to reread that. Sorry. Who never supported the IPs before, and now they have so altered these IPs to fit their insatiable hunger for validation. These blaring few leave the once great IPs in the cold, stripping them of anything and everything that has ever made them stand out. Again, I mean, it's really well said in this article, but this is pretty much the thesis of every Fandom Menace video, but it's nice to see it in one place. It's nice to see it in one place. It is no wonder that the mental health crisis in this country is at an apex. Well, part of that is because of Disney. Disney plays a huge part in that because they control a large media corporation that is constantly fanning the flames of dissent, division, and when you question everything, then nothing is real. And it doesn't matter because it's part of the nihilism of the modern society, which again has been perpetuated by the family-friendly Disney. There is approximately half the populace being told that by merely existing, they are guilty of hate crimes, oppressive toxicity, and must subvert themselves to pay for these sins, with few routes of escapism left. In the next breath, there is a demand for more companies and studios to cancel anyone who dares challenge these ideas, leading to an overwhelming exodus of people from traditional entertainment sources to more niche markets. Unfortunately, these markets are being plagued by the same nihilism and demand for sameness in order to identify with the relative agenda that as their traditional counterparts. Thus, creativity is being stifled under the guise of good intentions and reinforced by the threat of doxing and cancel culture. The praise Sonic received for fans The praise Sonic received by fans for listening to fans and then being rewarded by an opening and second weekend that exceeded expectations, only heightened the nearly delirious power-drunk so-called do-gooders. A frantic pitch to convince any and all that all established canon must be dismantled for the sake of righteousness, like someone tightening their fists to prevent sand from slipping through their fingers. The more you tighten your grip, the more we slip through your fingers. Talking. Only to lose more and more. The woke elitists and self-proclaimed social justice warriors are seeing the writing on the wall and are attempting to snuff out any detractors and safe havens for creatives. If even one well-written character with the power to spark the imagination and ignite the soul, heralding the greatness that lives within us all, it is to shine through us, allowed to stand, their entire narrative falls apart. And they're not allowing this, even through, they're attempting it through female characters, but then they're trying to do it without giving us your basic, quote unquote, patriarchal hero's journey. And they're finding out it's not working very well. The thing is, they had early success, Lady Gravemaster. That's what led to this. Wonder Woman, partially responsible. It's not like it's a bad movie, but out of Wonder Woman and Logan, it has brought us Picard and Captain Marvel, and they're bad copies that were filled with agenda, which those previous two films had, but it was storytelling done right, I will argue. Again, Logan's not a film I'll watch again. It's joyless, but it's really good. There used to be two camps. There were those who sought to be entertained and those who provided the entertainment. Now, hiding within both camps is a third, agenda-driven plague. Yes, they want these to be political. They want these to be pieces of entertainment that influence-tainment. It's influtainment. They demand as entertainment seekers that their views be adhered to as creatives, quote unquote. They denounce anyone who doesn't invest individually earned time and money into their product, placing blame for the project's abject failure on the populace. The plague has muddled the line that was once a market of creators presenting their work to a customer base who had the choice of either accepting or neglecting it. By playing both sides of the market, the ability to control the narrative around the project deemed worthy belongs in the hands of the very few. Fewer each day. I gotta see how much longer this is. Okay. It is only the inferior idea that fears the light, that seeks to silence opposition rather than hear them out. So the proof is laid bare for the individual to witness for themselves. When the power is in the hands of the individual, greatness is not a consideration. It is a requirement. So rather than breathe life into worthwhile characters who know what they are and what they stand for in the world, that there either parallels our own or is a fantastical universe separate from our own. These canon destroyers seek to control the narrative that mediocrity is truly reflective not only of what we seek in entertainment, but about what we should accept in our own lives. When words are repurposed, when order is denounced, facts dismissed, and feelings are placed above objective measure, chaos reigns in the hearts and minds of any who attempt to make sense of it. This is regarded with degradation and bullying from the same people perpetuating the canonical hijacks, and this must be met with an antithetical measure. Create, write, draw, paint, compose, dance, sing, inspire. Always remember where you came from and use every day to build and use every day to build something greater than yourself. You may falter, you may fail, but you will know what you are capable of. And more importantly, you will know who you are. Great article. Great article. Now, it focuses on Star Wars, as it should. And when did this come out? On the 11th. So I imagine this was written prior to Doctor Who. Okay. I could be wrong. But what AC said in this, the best example now lies in Doctor Who. No longer Star Wars. Because what Luke was, Luke is a quitter after the original trilogy, but what The Force Awakens did, you can forget the end of it, and it doesn't undo anything Luke did in the original trilogy. Doctor Who fundamentally changed the foundation of the show, and it not only deconstructed William Hartnell, it minimalized him into just another Doctor, one of millions. I mean, the Doctor could be an eternal being. So, yeah, it was good stuff. Thank you, Lady Gravemaster. I appreciate that. And we are going to take off. I got to check one more thing before we go. Thanks for the reminder there. According to Christy, LOL, you missed Super Chats. I'm just about to check. Thanks, Christy. Guard Goldsmith for $10. Hey, Gary, I want to let you know you're devoted to Hitchhiker, Who, and Real Trek, and more is in charge of your energy. I'm sorry, I missed. Okay, Guard Goldsmith, thank you for the $10. Hey, Gary, I wanted to let you know that your devotion to Hitchhikers, Who, and Real Trek, and more is a charge of energy. Thanks, man. As the prisoner said, be seeing you. Yes. Thank you, Christy. You're not supposed to be giving super chats. Just tell me that in the chat. Again, if I miss a super chat, and I miss them sometimes, I do super chat square ups, and they're all available on Nerdrotic Live. The most recent one was done a couple of days ago, and it's up there, and it's got, it's for the Inquisition from 2 weeks ago, and it's got a picture of me and Doomcock as the Pillars of Argonath from Lord of the Rings. So I'm going to go all the way up, and I'm going to see what I missed. Charles Thompson, got that one. Charles Nibba. Read that one. Justin Gould. Sorry, it's going to be quiet. I'm going to have to go over this again. Thanks for being an Oasis of Sanity. Yellow Flash, got that one. Jonathan Frost, new Doctor Who show title idea. Look Who's Doctor Who 2. That might be what, based on Martin's theory. Yes. Thank you for the $5. Alpha Omega for $10. Viewers wishing to catch up. Oh, I read that one. See? Okay. Only a matter of time until CBS destroys that. Read that one. Chip's feeling so stunning brave. Yep. Yeah. Max von Sydow. Berserk. R Far for $3.49 New Zealand. Berserk broke my heart. Can't watch it again. Well, in a good way or a bad way? R Far, let me know for New Zealand $3.49. Thank you for recommending The Expanse, says Chris Patterson. You're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. So Chumley 73 for $2 says, what the fuck did you mean Chibnall was hired to kill the show? I think I explained that he was hired to do a deed. And if that deed didn't work and it killed the show, so fucking what? Because we don't like the previous show. So we're going to hire you to make the Doctor female and fill it full of agenda. That's the show we want because we don't like other Doctor. Chumley, There is no other explanation, because they're making less money than they would if they had just gone traditional with Doctor Who. Or, look, a black male doctor, which if they would have done, that would have been traditional Doctor Who, by the way. That would have been traditional. The doctor being male, and it could have been a black male, and it would have done just fine. It would do better now. It would be doing better now. Far better. A young black man and a young companion, and maybe you have a little innuendo between them because that's what the kids like these days. And I know the classic Who fans want to lose their mind over that, but honestly, that's what the new series is. That's what it's sold on. Lots of running around, some more action, but still at its core, Doctor fucking Who. If they would have picked a male of any color, it would still be doing better now, much better now. It would be a healthy show on its way to its 20th season. But nope, they wanted to derail it. They wanted to go that extra woke mile. And like I said before, if it fails, so what? They're going to save money because they're not a company about profit right now. They're not about profit. They're about their agenda. They're a publicly funded organization, which means they have no innovation. There's no innovation going on. Let's talk about something positive. New season of Cosmos is awesome. No wonder Neil deGrasse Tyson and Andrea and Brandon Braga. Michael Sanger, thank you for the $5. Yeah, this whole section junks. So to reset, and yeah, keep this in mind, Modrotics, the viewer activity that I look at doesn't refresh all the time with the super chats. So I'm going down the list in order, and it adds super chats, but it doesn't add them in order. It's a YouTube bug. So we're doing the best we can with that. There is another way to look at them, but it's a major pain in the ass because you have to go into the old YouTube studio, which I guess I'm going to have to start doing because I'm getting sick of this shit. Yeah. I've really got to go, but I'll stick this one out. Lord Zanzabi for $5. Gary, just want to thank you for fighting the good fight. I have watched more live streams of you and Doomcock, and I have anyone else. R.I.P. Dr. Lord Zanzabi, thank you so much for the kind words. Thank you for the $5. Zachary Shaw for $19.99. Do you think the virus that shall not be named will make Hollywood and Cubs grind to a halt? If it spreads and worsens, I really hate what they did with Star Trek and love hanging out here with you a lot. Oh, thanks, Zachary. I appreciate you. If the virus spreads and gets really bad, films and clubs will be the least of our worries. What do I think will happen? I think some people will get sick. And I think we're a pretty amazing country. We're not perfect, but look at us now. I mean, I'm here in San Francisco, and this place can get pretty chaotic, and it's empty. It's empty. So we're going to probably have to take a little bit of a beating in the economy. Maybe not as bad as some people are saying. I mean, listen, you got to be really, really careful. I mean, it might happen, and it's something you might want to think about. But when you're jumping on a live stream with a couple thousand people, you want to be careful with what you say. Really careful. This is real life shit. This isn't entertainment. I don't give a fuck what I say about Star Wars or fucking Doctor Who or Chibnall. But I start spouting out, oh, there's going to be a recession for sure. That's irresponsible as fuck to say. You might feel it. You might want to say it, but that's irresponsible as hell. That you could scare the shit out of somebody. There's a small business owner out there that just the fact that I said that word, their stomach dropped out their balls. I mean, I was a small business owner. I lived in fear of that shit. It's great being a small business owner, and it's terrifying. Okay. So I get you. So listen, I'm not going to do that. I mean, people do it. People get emotional, and that's fine. And then maybe they say stuff they don't mean to say, and that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not judging. I'm just I'm asking for something that's just not going to happen on YouTube. I know I'm being an old man right now. Get off my lawn. But like, do not say shit like that. Not unless we're in it. If it's happening, then don't lie about it. Don't go, it's not happening. I mean, if we see it clearly happening, then we need to tell you the truth and tell you it's happening. But why don't we wait till it happens? Be prepared. Be ready for something like that. Sure. I just want to, I hope I'm making it incredibly clear. You know, I say don't panic. I'm not saying be in denial. I'm just saying don't panic. I want you guys to be safe. That's my main concern. I mean, like, honestly, everything else is shit after that. I mean, like, just be safe. Hey, Gary, hope you have a great day. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Christian Sudath, for $5. I appreciate it. Right back at you. Right back at you. And thank you again, Chumley73. I guess, yes, that it is good that I clarify when I say something like that. You're absolutely right. Stamp, keep me on point. Damn, yeah, that was a huge, I hate it when that happens. Adepticon, oh my God, I can't even say that. Adepticon just got canceled from the sickness. I can't say the word of the sickness, okay? You guys can write it, but I can't say it. It'll hurt this video, we'll just say. Had the chance to look up 40K's Hell's Reach. Space Marines addiction is less deadly, but expensive. I'm giving Berserk a try right now, Jaegerbaum, and maybe I'll check it out after that. Thank you very much. Jaegerbaum loves his 40K, man. 40K fans are awesome. They're fucking passionate as hell. I don't know. It almost feels like too intimidating to get into. Not intimidating, but just too big to get into. Maybe sometime, but it's reading. If it's watching a movie or something, that I can do that. But as far as like books, embarking on books, it's tough. It's tough because I'm reading electronic media all day. Nothing bothers me more than Current Who than the fact that Jodie Whittaker never closes her mouth all the way. It seriously bothers me so much, says Liz L. You can't unsee it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Thank you for the $5. Guard Goldsmith for $10. Share and enjoy. Share and enjoy. I'm a personality prototype. You can tell, have you? The Sirius Cybernetics Corporation. Well, that will be illegal in Kurtzman Trek. Marvin the Paranoid Android is the big bad in Star Trek Picard. Share and enjoy. And remember, the music in the Death Disco Roosta and Zaphod entered and said, "Staying alive backwards, all the best from New Hampshire." Yes, I do. Listen, I don't know if it exists. So I'm asking somebody who may work at the BBC, the album cut of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is they redid the radio series. They produced it and they gave it a new soundtrack. I want that soundtrack. I want just the music. If it exists, somebody please let me know. I have been looking for that for 30 years. So the music from the Hitchhiker album. Now the album is going to be available on Audible pretty soon. So for those of you who hadn't heard it, it's actually, if they just adapted the album into a film, it would have been perfect. It's a perfect 2-hour script. Can you talk about Miss Thor in the Boys 2 trailer? Philip A. Demick. I haven't seen the Boys 2 trailer. Miss Thor. Well, they gender swapped another character and I'm not happy about it. And we're going to have to see how it turns out. The Boys I liked, but it like really skirted the woke thing a little too much. And I think they might, I hope they don't go there. I have a personal interest in that show. But Philip A. Demick, I will post it on Twitter. I'll let you know what I think. NJ Scoundrel for $5. How do you like Castlevania? I read that one. So Captain America throws his mighty shield and Captain America. Sam Whiskey for $4.99. Captain America throws his mighty shield and Captain Marvel throws a fit. That's right. Oh, that's funny. All right, we voted on that. I could not find the John Pertwee William Shatner interview. I will try to put that in a video as a sound clip, though. All right, now we're going to the bottom. El Gunolo for 500 yen. Chibnall has become a verb. The franchise got chibnalled, utterly ruined, sent to the bargain bin. And there it will languish and get dust on it because nobody will buy it. And the BBC, again, is in the early stages of this. They're unaware of this. They still think they have a healthy franchise. No, BBC, I'm here to tell you, it's dead. It's dead, Jim. There's nothing we can do. You might as well cancel it. Or I'll be here in 2 years to say I told you so. But we are here on March 12th, 2020. Your show died on March 1st. There's no coming back from what you did. You clearly don't understand fandom. You clearly don't understand your own property and your IP. Calling it a fucking IP. It's Doctor fucking Who. It's one of the greatest stories ever told, and you just shat and pissed on it, and then threw gasoline on it, then set it on fire, and then pissed and shat on it again. And now you're headed for trouble. We're going to end there. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And I will be live tomorrow at 5 p.m. with Friday Night Tights. We got Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. We got Odin from Odin's Movie Blog. We got Comics Division. And Az from Heels versus Babyface will be joining us tomorrow at 5 p.m. It should be a great conversation. So look forward to that. This will be on Nerdrotic Live in about an hour. Until then, hang on to the link. So if you see anybody asking where the stream went, tell them they can always just hit the link on my Twitter. So it's unlisted, but it doesn't mean you can't watch it. Please subscribe to Nerdrotic Live. We're almost at 20,000 subscribers, and that's where I put all of my live content. The channel's been blowing up. So thank you very much. Thank you for all your support here. We just passed 226,000 subscribers. I bow to you. You're brilliant. The channel's growing despite all this mess, and I will do my best. Not all who wander are lost.